energize me in a song I'll never hear. Lay my bones to rest with your fear. Nothing else can move these roots. Nothing but your withheld truth. No stones unturned, every letter burned. I read and reread every word, and I was misheard. So I'll get out of this shallow grave, wash my claim from your name. Oh, disguise me inside cryptid prose, caught between the lines that we chose. Nothing else can see these roots. Nothing but our shared youth. Stones unturned, every letter burned. I read and reread every word, and I was misheard. So I'll get out of this shallow grave, wash my claim from your name, and in hope of kindled flame, ashtray whispers of blame. Where I elude you erode me. When I elude you erode me. So I'll get out of this shallow grave, wash my claim from your name, and in hope of kindled flame, ashtray whispers of blame. Ashtray whispers of blame. Ashtray whispers of blame. I wouldn't ask you to treat me kind. Wouldn't ask you to read my mind. But I might ask for you to stay. I wouldn't hope for your love wouldn't dare dream of heaven above, but I'd ask for you to stay. All you could give me, some of your time, and all I'm asking is come and waste mine. I'll take less than I need. Get down on my knees and plead. It's always more than I deserve, that I'd leave too if I had the nerve. But I'm just asking for you to stay. Oh, I'm just asking for you to stay. Eulogize me in a song I'll never hear. Lay my bones to rest with your fear. Nothing else can move
might be.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Lotus 5 showroom. My name is Paris Mataverse, and we're live today with Tales of Destiny. And my wife is here also. See how easily she gets offensed.
Not an afterthought.
No. Who's the we? Who's player one? You're player one
I
today.
didn't say I don't want to be player one.
Okay, it is not player one. Not new game. Nice. Where's the player
Actually,
two?
no, I do want to be player one because I remember what we're going through and how annoyed I get when you play it.
I don't know what that means. Ada's a hater.
Also,
Ada's drinking the haterade.
Also, I got actively frustrated while playing Automata today because you want to know what I kept clicking on for select? Circle. And it was X.
Ha? And ha. And also, what controller did you use?
I'm not stupid. I pulled out the one that was back there.
Not stupid, but sneaky.
I didn't use your controller. I grabbed the one from up there and then I put it back as soon as I was done because I like to charge them.
Yeah, they don't stay alive.
I know.
I had a phone once.
Yeah, you did. I even texted you.
Oh,
it's on the charger.
Oh yeah, we got to this point and we were going.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to change my shirt. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, I got frustrated because in Automata select or like the confirm button is X, not circle, and then I kept pressing the wrong one because the only other PlayStation game I played was Slime Rancher 2, and there is no confirm button in that game. There's no confirm button. You don't need to confirm anything. Oh yeah. I don't use my menus very often. Technically, yeah, it's X.
Yeah, X is just the go-to confirm button, but this is like from the era
I
where
guess.
everyone was like debating or figuring it out, I guess. Right? Because we moved from, if you're talking like console, you had like the Nintendo, which only had, it had the 4 buttons. It had A, B, but A was on the right, where the circle button would be.
Wait, no.
We came from that area, yeah. And then you had,
Oh my God, I thought we
the Segas, I think, also had a weird setup.
They had
The Atari was a bit more bad.
yeah, and that had 2 buttons and then the 4,
And you had arcades.
which were 3 buttons, and the
4 buttons.
most were 3, some were 4.
No. Because most arcade games were designed to be with the same control scheme as like a Street Fighter game, it would be A, B, Y, X. Or, well, they would be like the same layout, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, most of
So
the ones.
it would be, I think it's light kick, heavy kick, light punch, heavy punch would be how most arcade cabinets.
Most of the ones that I played with only had the 2 buttons, so you had to constantly go back and forth and do this. But they were older
Well, those are
than
not
the
like
4-button
those
ones.
aren't big game arcades either. That's not the kind of arcades you'd be referring to when we be talking about this kind of stuff. Because like they'd be like, oh, little things. Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about with the 2 buttons, but those are like 3-button arcade games with which really simple. But when you're talking about like active big boy cabinets like Street Fighter or any of the fighting games, you'd have to have 4, obviously.
So I was at the big park in Florida doing the arcade stuff,
Florida.
and I was playing DOA, the original, and there was only 2 buttons.
There can't be only 2 buttons on a fighting game.
It was one of the originals.
I don't care. What are your commands in Dead or Alive?
In the original one, you have punch and kick.
You have light and heavy punch and light and heavy kick all the time. Because
Not-
then how do you grab? How do you guard?
You don't!
You do! The original oh my god, the original Dead or Alive is still a 3D game, is it not?
No! It's no 3D.
This is a 3D game. 1996.
Not when you were playing, it was not 3D.
This
It was not 3D when you were playing.
it was they're 3D models is what I'm saying.
No. They were 2D models.
Those are 3D models. This is better because it looks like trash. Better graphics than Street Fighter, which was 2D pixel.
But that's a 2D model.
This is also a Sega Saturn game. And if you look at the Sega Saturn, there's 6 buttons.
Okay, now look up the...
Dead or Alive arcade cabinet. I don't want YouTube.
Because they had ones that had 4 buttons, and they had ones that had 2 buttons, and some of them had 3 buttons. And like they were very obviously like original cabinets.
There's 4 buttons here. You have your joystick and you have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess that's start, select up here. This is Dead or Alive 3 though.
This is the one that I was looking.
That's still 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, and then there's.
But this is Dead or Alive 3.
But it was a cabinet like that, but with
Here we go.
So I guess it had the 3.
That's not.
Oh, I used to play on
There you
cabinets
go. 1,
like
2, 3
that.
buttons. Yeah.
So that one where it was sideways like that.
Like this one?
No, the other one.
The big one here?
No, this is for maybe it was before this?
Either way, all of these have 3 buttons.
It's the ones where they're like this. Where they're not straight, they're like more down. Like they're down with a slight up.
6, but this is Mortal Kombat.
No, that's still not what I was meaning. This one right here. That.
This isn't a sideways cabinet, it's a picture of the high.
Yes. Look at the monitor. The
But-
way that it's angled, it's down.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I think it's like this, and that's like that. It's just a bad picture. It would look like that, if anything.
Okay. But yeah, I've also played one where it didn't even have these kind of graphics. It was like the pinball one, and it was like flat. And you had to look down, and you had one button and a joystick.
I'm not sure that's a fighting game.
And
there, my
no,
darling.
I said pinball.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And there was one on either side, and you could play against someone.
Even Street Fighter had 6 buttons.
Oh, what's that big one there?
This one?
Yeah. That has 2 buttons.
The Street Fighter one.
Oh, look at yourself.
Hmm.
That's 2 big giant buttons, right?
I don't know. I think that's what it looks like, but that doesn't make sense. Here we go. Why would you have big old buttons like that?
So I've also played on consoles like that.
Why would you have 2
arcades.
massive buttons?
It was so that way people couldn't miss it.
Nah. That's gotta represent still more than 1 input, I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe it was like a double?
Yeah.
Like, so like either there's 2 buttons per thing, or there's like, you light tap, it's a light punch, heavy tap.
So when I played with the 2,
I feel like they would have undone that. Oh, this is 2!
told ya.
Here's the original. What are these buttons are gross! I
So,
don't like these!
so what I did when I had the 2, I remember heavy attack was you had to hit the button twice, and then you could hit something else. And then light attack was you hit the button once.
I was right!
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to like slam it if
Yep.
you wanted a heavy punch.
Mm-hmm.
They quickly found out that doesn't work, and they put better controls in Street Fighter 2 because you were breaking the tablet. They were just saying on the post that they
Yeah.
were breaking the cabinets or people were hurting themselves.
Yeah, so mine was a small one with 2 small buttons, but it was like you had to press it twice in order to do a heavy attack for either the punch or the kick. So, and they had to be in rapid succession. Like, it had to be
Yeah, I
like,
know
da,
what
da,
you- Not that I don't want to believe you, but that sounds
No.
fake.
That's fine. But I do.
Especially since we just saw the other cabinets all had like 6 or 4, except for Dead or Alive. I guess one had.
One had 3.
I don't know why Dead or Alive would have
It
3
might
buttons.
have been
3 doesn't
that-
sound like a right number. We can just go up.
The one that had 3 might have been the one that I was playing with, and I just never used the 3rd button for block.
Hey Spike, how you doing? Go
Hi,
flamethrower.
Spike.
Let's go faster. 3 buttons. I can't. You think block was the last one?
Yeah, but I never used block.
Oh, it would have had to be something like that, because Dead or Alive is, amongst other things, one of the ones with the parry system. You got like a...
Yeah, there was a parry system.
Yeah.
And like I played 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I was like, when I came across 1, I was super excited about it.
Nice
Like,
standard.
you're married.
Oh yeah, because we can't swap standard.
Yeah. I don't remember how to run.
Thanks. You hold that.
Okay, I'm pressing the wrong button.
Flare sword. Nobody wants that. Actually, check it. Wow, it's skinny. Your eyes won't stop leaking. Me too, dude. It's fatigue most of the time, but yeah, or cold. I go outside and I take a bus. I walk to the bus stop and I'm just like, what's happening? Did I get hit in the head with a shovel? I don't know.
Also, birthday weekend.
Yeah. You did mention when we announced at the end of last session for the combat. It was gonna be his birthday this Sunday.
Huh?
Raiders. He's in the Raiders game.
Oh. I understand now.
What? You didn't know it was okay.
It's a dude.
You've made it this far.
Oh no, is that a chick?
Yeah.
Eileen,
what are you doing here?
I really don't want to fight you.
Ew, she's mean.
Stan.
She's a bad boy. Then don't. You have a choice. We're just gonna kill all the knife people.
I belong to Oberon
I
Corporation.
don't
I
like.
can't disobey Hugo.
I don't like the word belong in this context.
Or will you join me and help Hugo?
You must be mad. She's very angry. I'm never going to help someone who's trying to destroy our world.
He's not trying to destroy the world. He's trying to create a new one.
She's talking nonsense. Don't listen to her. It's the same thing. You don't care about what happens to the people who live here already. There. What you're doing is no different than what Lydon tried to do.
Don't you know what's happening on the surface? Who needs a new world? What's wrong with ours?
You know who needs a new world? The Tales of Symphonia people.
It's unfortunate. I thought you would understand.
Why?
I have nothing against you, but if you're on Hugo's side, we don't have a choice. Alright. I know that I can't let you pass through here.
We're gonna fight Eileen.
I'm waiting. Attack me.
She's like that one character from Gacha Yakuza. Hit me, please. I can't swing first.
Yeah,
And then
also-
Engine's just like,
I realized that she yelled it, but I'm like, I'm gonna make it where she just says it.
whoa, she's flying.
Okay,
No, she has a drone.
yeah, she has a drone.
No, but I think it's going to be real annoying when it starts hitting the healers. Hey, you have that.
Ah, that was a bomb! Rudy!
My week's been decent. I have my first day off. But she's already dead. That's rough, buddy.
I looked over towards our healers to make sure they were alright and see if Rudy was playing like healing anyone. And there she is on the ground, picking up coins.
She did it 3 times in a row, like...
I failed. I lost.
Eileen!
Please, stay away, Stan.
Why? Why did you side with Hugo?
Are you satisfied with the world as it is now?
What do you mean by that?
What did you think of your world when you traveled around it? Didn't anything bother you?
There's a lot of heavy emphasis on capitalism, but actually...
If nothing did, I have nothing more to say to you.
Okay, bye. That's an interesting thought. I know how senseless a war can be. Yeah, but who's the one who started the war?
Exactly.
So I rule my country so that we will never be involved in a war. Are you that unhappy with our world?
Countries kingdoms. They're not important at all. The most important thing is what's inside people's
I
hearts.
like Eileen just staring at the camera, looking into 2026. Countries, kingdoms, those aren't important at all. Bound borders are made up. Perhaps you shouldn't judge people based on where they come from.
You should have experienced things like a suspicious. You should have.
You should have experienced things like suspicion.
Yeah, you should have experienced things like suspicion, hatred, discrimination, and calculated kindness during your travels.
Calculated kindness? As in, okay,
The
manipulation.
corporation.
Manipulation, I guess.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the corporation?
Leon and Hugo.
Hugo!
Yeah.
Ooh, the world really sucks. Look at this. The world really sucks. There's a corporation making everything suck.
Yeah, well,
and a
the-
war making everything
Well,
suck.
the
And then everyone's like,
calculated kindness
Buddy.
would have been Leon, Hugo, and the others from the corporation that we got help from.
Stares at, like, Hugo, like,
the war was fine before you messed it up, my guy.
like, there was war, and then it stopped. And then Hugo got involved and reset it, right?
Yeah.
Unless, was it implied?
He
that
was supporting Lydon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah!
Lydon's the one who's trying to get people to go to war.
He started the biggest war to be had. So, like, the last mega war that was really bad was the Ether and Earther War.
Yeah.
That's done!
Yeah.
And it was laid to rest until Hugo decided, how about we collect the Swordians real quick?
Yeah, but also, like, they were trying to instigate the people in Aquarium to go to war with Seingeld.
Yeah, but that's, like, Hugo did that by manipulating Lydon and getting Lydon to get, like,
Yeah.
the Eye of Acrimony.
And only recently did Gar's Kingdom end war. Because he unified
like,
their
8
people.
years past with Mary, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 8 years. I've had enough of this world. There is no choice except for us to start all over again.
That's also doubling back, because even if that war did happen only less than a decade ago, it was very much implied that that war happened because Mary's crew or Mary's group, those like resistance guys, they're not depicted as resistance people
the
very
way,
well
the
here.
way that they talked about it was that the different cities had their own militias because they were fighting against one another.
Yeah, but like that was like implied to be manipulated again by Lydon, wasn't it?
No. It was
Oh, it's because Lydon came in afterwards and they recruited some of the stragglers from one of the losing sides.
yeah, and then he manipulated her husband, and they were also fighting him.
So like we could argue that that would have ended there had Hugo not pushed Lydon to go to that country, and Gar would have been able to handle that no problem.
Yeah.
Sans the ginormous mega weapon.
Lydon also killed his father, who was ruling over a peaceful kingdom.
Yeah.
So
So like Hugo's like, wow, this world really sucks. And everybody's like, dude, it's your fault.
yeah, like everything that happened with Lydon was because of Hugo, and like Lydon was instigating the people in like the one place. Like she then tells us, oh well, you'll have to go to this land. And this land is having tensions with everybody around them because they're independent, but Seingald wants them for themselves.
Yeah.
But it's there's tension, but they're not at war.
It was just like and I guess you could argue that was going to spill over at some point, right?
Yeah.
But not to the scale that we had because of Hugo.
And they didn't even go to war with one another.
No, because we stopped it by coming in and busting up Lydon before he could actually because he took over like 3 different kingdoms one after the other. Anyway, okay, Hugo.
No, 2.
Well, he took the one with the water, right? Because you go there and Batista was like the governor at the time when we get Carol. Like Carol's dad got killed there,
Yeah, there.
right? And then after that, there's
That's the
Gar's
Aquarium.
kingdom.
Yeah.
But I think there's one before that because Lydon shows up in. I think Hugo's gonna suffer our wrath at some point.
I'm not talking to you.
That's what that was. Oh yeah, but like it's he fucked up in 2 locations because the 3rd location was where she was and he wasn't there.
She
But
who?
her. Oh
No,
no,
that's
but
the
he
first
meant
location.
he was doing the pirates attacking the Oberon Corporation.
Yeah, he was in charge of like the pirates, and then also there was like he
Yeah,
was
'cause
also
Lydon-
like because not Lydon, Hugo was messing with him. Lydon started screwing with the church and stuff too. So it's like
Yeah.
the
And like the
second we-
whole thing with the pirates is that it was Lydon who was getting the pirates to attack the Oberon Corporation, but like the whole thing was instigated by Hugo.
He's just that literal meme of the guy on the bike, and then he like grabs a stick out of his pocket, shoves it into the front wheel, and goes like, "How could our world do this?
Right?
How could Lydon do this?"
So like there was only 2 locations that they took over, and then one location where it was on the water causing issues.
Well, yeah, well, but like because there was also the church right after he left Phileas Church, that other church there that he
Oh,
also like he was
yeah.
from the second that we left Phileas Church, Lydon was immediately skyrocketing to power in every location that he went because he had like I guess a lot of charisma. I don't know.
He had people under his. He had people working for him.
Yeah, so I think it was set up from the get go.
Yeah,
Right?
so I think it's he already had followers that were gonna come with him from the church, and then they kept going with that, and that also explains when we were fighting Lydon why he said to Stan, "You have no idea what's going on."
Ah, yeah, I want to give points to Lydon for warning for trying to be cool at the end, but I don't know
Yeah.
if he actually knew himself what was going on.
I think he knew, but what he was doing was he was
There is an ad in a minute for those of you who are not subbed. Heads up.
I feel like there was a point where he like he was going like he was mocking. I feel like that wasn't a warning, it was mocking.
No, I don't think warning is the right word, but yeah, I feel like he said he was trying to like convince us that we didn't know all the info, and like obviously I don't think
Yeah.
he knew the info at its core either. He stole the eye, and then I gotta keep it away. No, he wasn't doing anything for nice. It was weird. It was a weird last
He kept
little line.
moving the eye around. I was like,
I don't know how he pulled that off. The first
like, every single time he was out of the location within us like the minute we arrived. So I feel like he was headed to a location, then they would get the information, then Leon would tell Hugo, and then Hugo would tell.
No,
So
I
was
think
like,
I feel like it's more likely that if the world has problems, we just have to fix them. I feel it's more likely that our characters had a couple things that would slow them down right before they leave a location,
yeah.
and Lydon probably didn't have that. He just
Go forward a little
wow.
bit, because you're up against the thing.
Oh.
Sorry, I saw it shaking as you were talking.
So I think that Lydon didn't have those blockades because he already had something placed in each place that he wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Except for like the last two where he got like
I
a
also-
hostile takeover just
I
straight up.
also feel like he didn't actually take the antimony to any of those locations, and that the people that we talked to were paid to say that.
Nah, that's a little too far, I think.
Like you're lugging around this big giant thing all around the world only to bring it like to go back to the original continent you're on.
Did he go back? No, Gar.
Oh no, no,
he's
they were
around
in
the mountain
Gars.
technically. When we
Yeah,
played
he's
him.
on the other half of the island.
But that's not Seingal. That's a different continent.
But they're attached.
Yeah, but
Those are two different kingdoms.
you can't get to one by foot apparently, according to the way that we had to travel.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so technically he went to a different continent. Technically.
It also allowed him to skip the border patrol.
Yeah, but like I feel like he could have just gone straight there. Like they could.
Well, no, because I think
there.
that what happened is early on he was being a little more covert, right? So he gets into the temple. They're like, "Oh yes, Lydon, what's going on?" He's like, "Look, I got a plan." He starts convincing people,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Holy crap, you got the Eye of Ona?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm cool. Don't worry about it." And then they're like, "Okay, cool, we'll be on your side." And then he's grabbed himself like a contingent of like warrior priests, and he moves on, and he's still a little covert in the next place. But they're like, people are like, "Well, we saw him cover this big old statue thing, right?" And then he's like, "Okay, no, we go find him. We fight somebody again. I don't remember which location that was. Next location, hostile takeover. He kills the king, completely puts Batista in charge. It's no longer covert. He's like got the military force to walk into a kingdom, take over everything, set someone in charge, be the new governor, and then boom, the last one, same thing. He just comes to Gar's castle, Gar's like kingdom, and then he just like kills the dad. Also has the militia on his side,
Yeah.
and then like takes
And
over there.
The second location was Stan's continent, where Eileen was.
Mm.
Fendaria.
Thunderia,
Yeah. You think you can do that by yourselves?
I'm not saying we can fix them by ourselves alone. Everyone in the world must work together.
That's too idealistic. It's impossible.
She's talking mad crap for someone who just got the turd
yeah,
knocked out of
but
her.
at the same time, where everybody like. I see these in the stories, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can fix the world's problems if everybody just works together." I'm like, "You're not gonna get everybody to work together."
Well, no, but that's like the point here is that they're trying to show you guys or us as players that there is a chance that if everybody works together, we have a way to push the world to be better. And in the era that these games were designed, it wasn't so much of deal with the people. Like there was still some form of like goodwill that people thought that the people in charge had. And nowadays, when
Yeah,
you make a video
nowadays we
game and you have
don't.
that kind of concept, you're looking at the world that happened in the last like 10, 20 years, and you're like, more and more as time goes on, the rate of poverty goes up, the rate of unemployment, the rate of like living, the cost of living, etc. All that keeps going up, and quality of life is either stagnating or straight going down for a lot of like, not just normal, not just the regular working class people, but also everybody who's like a marginalized citizen, like particularly in what we consider the first world like countries, right?
Yeah.
So that idea is going away and is no longer showing up as often in our media.
Yeah.
Like if I were to compare Tales of Destiny to Tales of Arise, you would be looking at a whole different situation.
Oh yeah.
Like you have kind of like this same concept that the world is broken and you need to fix it, but in Tales of Arise they're very open about the fact that like the people that are in charge right now, there is no talking them down. It is death, like, or it's not gonna get fixed.
Yeah.
Aileen, you're obviously concerned about the state of the world. If everyone cares as much as you do, we can change the world.
Impossible.
Why are you so negative? We'll never know until we try. And I think there's always the themes of like, even if it looks bleak, we're not getting anything by giving up.
Yeah.
And that still applies to this day. I think that if everyone just goes, well, we can't fix it, just throw it all away. I don't necessarily disagree with burning the concept of capitalism to the ground as the way that it stands, but you gotta have something to like...
Replace it.
You have to have someone or something or people that want to help each other. And the important part is the wanting to help other people. If people want to help other people, we have progress. If we do not want to help other people, we are just going to end up in the same state where people are just selfish and not building communities to help each other. It doesn't need to be macro. You need to have communities.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't need to be like the whole world united. It just needs to be those
something
little...
that I learned recently that they've been working on is that, you know how in Africa there's a lot of deserts nowadays, and it used to not be desert. It's
Yeah,
been dying.
the Sahara is stretching. That's right. It's been a thing.
So the reason why that happened was because of colonization and cutting down these massive trees.
Uh-huh.
Turns out the way that these trees work, when they were cut off, their roots remained underground.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to regrow, but the problem is that they become bushes, and then the tree is trying to grow like multiple trees all at once. So one of the old traditional ways of caring for the land was just picking one or two tree branches that are strong, cut off the others, and just let it grow.
Oh, okay. So they don't do, because there's some plants that like when you cut when you get a cutting off, so like you cut a branch or whatever and you plant it somewhere else, they're capable of growing new roots.
Yeah.
So you can multiply them that way.
What was happening in Africa was they constantly poured money into planting new trees, and they weren't taking. It wasn't working, and that's because they were fighting against a forest basically under the soil because none of the trees died. They were cut, and it seems like they're not there, but their roots are still in system, and what it does is it seals off the top of it until there's enough nutrients and everything for it to start growing again.
One of the issues people have with the desert is that like sand doesn't really maintain water and nutrients as much as Earth does.
So they've been tending to these trees, which within 5 years, the grass has grown, the trees are now growing and creating more shade, and because they're able to create more shade, it cools the ground more, and then it allows moisture to be taken in longer, because the more shade you have, the cooler the ground is, the more moisture that can develop, and then that develops into the air, and then they're able to get some rain. So the Sahara Desert, they like this one person who's from Africa and from one of these tribes, and down a long line of farmers who knew how to do this, who knew how to take care of the land properly, made a group and started working on it. I believe it's called ESO. And that's,
Elder Scrolls Online?
No, it actually stands for something else completely in their language.
It's not an abbreviation.
No. So they go acre by acre into multiple areas throughout the continent, and they're replenishing the Sahara, like replenishing the desert and making it into a jungle again.
Yeah, what's great about that kind of thing is that when you don't have someone actually like actively stopping you from doing that for whatever reason, like billionaires can do because you're getting in front of my profit margins or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it works. That kind of stuff works. Slowly but surely, but that kind of stuff works as long as no one's stopping you.
And they have like 5 team leads who go all throughout the country, and then they just gather villagers to help take care of the land.
Yeah.
And like nobody's getting in their way because they're citizens and it's their land. They're going to the villages where they are, and they're working in those territories.
Yeah, but like if we try something like that here, we probably get like,
No,
oh well, there's forests and we need that space to make new apartment buildings or
Yeah.
create our new AI
Also, our
data
trees,
centers.
our trees don't have the same, isn't the same type of tree, so it doesn't do the same
No,
thing.
we can still like have people who still want to replant. Like
Yeah.
they have paper and wood companies in Canada have environmental laws to follow where they cannot cut down more than X% of a forest without
Yeah.
replanting, and then they can't cut. There's another threshold before that where they just can't touch past that point.
Yeah. And
So there's like drawn safe borders.
a lot of places in Europe now are also making wildlife passes.
Well, Europe is behind because they have like 500 to 600 years more of history than us, and they've damaged their land way more than we have.
Yeah. But in places where there is lots of forest, where it's still very natural,
Yeah.
they've created, because there's a road going in the middle of it for a highway, they've started creating wildlife passes so that way animals can go across
Yeah,
it.
that's good.
And like they're massive. They're not small, they're massive, and some of them are like double arch, some of them are single arches. Anyways, I discovered that recently, and I'm like, this is actually like really cool as a way to like try and bring back what we lost because of what our ancestors did.
Well, it's a thing that someone's pointed out that like we keep panicking because whoa, the world's dying, the world's dying, and like yes, the world's dying kind of, but not really. The world's not dying. The world is losing its capacity to sustain human life, which is
Yes.
a very different statement. Because if it loses its capacity to sustain human life, it might be able to sustain non-human life.
Yeah.
And that's probably what is going to happen if we keep killing the planet the way we are. Is it's just going to prevent it's just going to evolve past the capacity for us to live as like, I don't want to call it like an antibody concept, but like it's going to evolve in a way to survive. Nature likes to adapt to what it needs to, like trees that are able to absorb, like that's how plants breathe, right? They absorb carbon dioxide. Monoxide?
Yeah. Carbon
CO2,
monoxide.
it's dioxide.
Dioxide. But like also like we saw it during COVID when dolphins returned to the canals in Venice.
Venice?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And like all sorts of like when we took what we use in the water away, the mammal life was able to travel their paths without potentially dying.
what people are scared of, what scientists have been warning us about, and that we are like on the doomsday clock, is the ozone layer.
Oh no, we hit the doomsday clock and we didn't
Yeah.
die. So
no, the doomsday clock isn't us dying. The doomsday clock is how much time until we can no longer walk it back.
Yeah, but we started walking it back just beforehand.
So like, and
So
the thing
it
that they were
went,
worried
like, 2
about
weeks ago.
was specifically the ozone layer. It was
Yeah.
that we damaged the atmosphere so much that there would be a point where we wouldn't be able to stop the greenhouse gases from damaging the rest of the planet, and that mainly affects oxygen breathing beings. So
Yeah.
and beings that require oxygen above the ocean. I think the ocean still has like actual CO2 like pollution, but to a
Yeah.
different perspective. Because if I recall correctly, the ocean has like
Has a lot
a
of-
huge percentage of the planet's oxygen actually when they did the math. Anyway, let's keep going.
Perhaps you're right. I also noted like the doomsday clock went out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But we had already started walking it back, and because of the lockdowns, the ozone started healing.
I didn't hear anything good from that. It was kind of like bleak when they talked about the doomsday clock. We'll see, because we can still cause more problems. Because like yes,
Yeah.
COVID helped us, but you know what else we started doing that just accelerated the bad stuff?
Oh, we just did all of it all over
We did the data centers are awful for all sorts of stuff. We're killing our environment still as fast as we were before, if not faster.
Yep. And like our generation is the one that was told that we had to fix everything, and now it's...
Am I looking to your birthday? I am in fact looking forward to your birthday, Black Spike. What kind of cake you like?
What? Oh, okay.
What?
I understand now. Yeah, what kind of cake do you like?
Carrot cake. Okay, cool.
Okay. I haven't made carrot cake in years.
I didn't say it. I'm not making you bake it.
You're gonna bake it?
No offense. How many days am I working this week?
Which is why I figured I was baking it.
No, I didn't say we're baking. We're just gonna buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, they sell that kind of stuff where I work, I think.
Not carrot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Though I've heard bad things about the carrot one.
I have not seen the carrot one in months.
Well, someone bought it for Valentine's Day,
Okay, I
and then
guess
she said it was bad.
Okay. Yeah, no, maybe go to an actual bakery and
We'll
buy a cake. But Stan, you're so naive. You're so pure and optimistic. How our generation was when we were being told, yeah, you gotta fix all of our mistakes.
How about eating my garbage? How about
I
consider
feel
you are
that.
motherfucker?
Like, our generation started fixing it. No, do not put that on.
We did.
That's the treatment that I've been putting on our lips. And then you got 2 cold sores from it. I mean, the cold store ones are probably gone by now, but I mean, I kept putting it on my lips. But like that's how we were treated. It was you're gonna be fixing our problems, and then 2 generations later, and they're also trying to fix it.
None of the problems were problems that were just gonna go in one generation. It wasn't 30 years or 50 or 80 years. I was gonna like we knew.
No.
The problem is that we advanced technology so fast that we didn't see the side effects happening.
Yeah, and then when we did, we realized that we needed to slow down, and we didn't.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that happens all the time, right? You're looking at like pretty much any new thing, cigarettes. Oh, it's really cool. Haha, you get to burn a stick and
Tobacco,
blow smoke. Yeah. Well, it started with tobacco. That was pretty bad, and people were like, "Wow, look, it stains your teeth." Wow, who would? Excuse me.
And
Right?
then people started.
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
sick.
I was getting there because then we got cigarettes, and people were like, "Holy cow! It turns out the chemicals we put in this crap is really addictive and really bad for your health." And then fast forward to like 10 years ago, wow, we just invented this new cigarette alternative. It still looks just as cool, but it's just water. How could it possibly hurt your lungs?
And then it turns out it's actually the worst thing. You
Yeah, the
possibly
answer is like,
do.
well, it turns out water in your lungs is pretty bad for your health, actually.
Yeah,
So,
and like there are 25-year-olds who have 80-year-old lungs.
yeah,
and they're
because you're
going,
just
like-
because like the way that
And worse, they're getting some of the most terminal diseases in their lungs, and like they can't fix it.
I don't think you can. Yeah, and like the problem with that is like because it's the same logic, right? If you're consistently sucking carbon monoxide down, you are eventually starving your lungs of actual oxygen, and it ends up like killing them, right? And the concept of vapes is that you're doing the same thing, but it's not carbon monoxide; it's just
Yeah.
heavy vapor.
In terms of vaping, if you're doing it from time to time, I've heard it's not as bad. It's the people who consistently vape and use it as a replacement for smoking. It's like
Well, because initially it was sold as something to get you off your nicotine addiction,
Yeah.
your tobacco addiction, and because it at least it only took like 5 years before they realized how bad it actually got.
yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing because maybe they just figured it out when it started doing damage, which
yeah.
was like, dang, it did damage really fast. But yeah, be responsible, people.
Yes, if people on the surface are as pure as you are, there's still hope for the world. But that's far from reality. Do you still believe the world can change for the better?
It's giving I can't help but wonder. I believe in people. I believe that everybody wants to make this world a better place. There's also the addiction angle, right? It's hard to just quit for that kind of thing.
Oh, that's what he was meaning by D&D this weekend.
Yeah, Ada, what are you?
Well, because he was saying that he was having his party, and then he was gonna be, and then
Yeah,
he was gonna
saying his
do-
party's on Saturday. He's got his.
and then he has D&D later. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. But I had no idea who you were, Black Spike, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And I just put it all together. I'm sorry, I just clued in as to who the D&D group was. That's on me.
Don't you agree, Eileen?
Stan.
You know it'll work when her text is gonna go blue.
You must disable the mirror shield in order to reach Hugo.
That's what I'm trying to do, Eileen.
The most advanced technologies from the ancient world are kept here.
Wait, we're
You
here to
may
fix
even be
Ictanos.
able to repair your swordians with
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say, isn't that what we're here for? Can Ictanos be revived?
Perhaps.
Perchance?
Why are you telling us this? I don't know. But I know now that you'll be able to create a new world in a different way than Hugo. I just know it.
That's what you get for being called Hugo. Eileen?
I didn't want to see you here like this.
They made a special. She's just gonna throw herself out.
Okay, so one disintegrated.
You put it just not done.
What did the second guy do again?
Didn't he just die? I'm pretty sure
Oh
he
no,
died.
the first one blew up. The second one, it disintegrated. And she's just gonna throw
Like-
herself out the window.
Oh, yeah. I don't get it. Whatever. You can
Every
just,
time I see a character do that, like
could've just helped
after
us.
they've lost in a fight, I'm like, this makes no fucking
Could you just
sense.
help us? But that's because if. Oh. Eileen!
Oh, are you crazy? Are you trying to kill yourself? He's trying to jump after her.
Stan, calm down. Let go of me! Philia with the real solution. Eileen!
The other two are like, stop him! And then she's like, yeah, let's close
I
that door.
got this. Calm down, you idiot. Shut up! How can someone like you who's no longer human understand this? I used to be human like you. What did you say? Stop it, you two.
Back off, Demos. He's not listening to a word you're saying.
At White, I know, but...
Stan, you went too far.
What? I mean, he was mean to... Yeah. What's your point?
I understand your feelings, but you shouldn't say everything that's on your mind.
True! Stan, the thing you said about us wasn't fair. We still have emotions. We still feel things. And also, I'm the king in disguise. Whoa, throwback to my Tales of Zelda Legend of the Minish Cap.
Which is a throwback to this. Like, I clipped it because he said it, and like, I was back there and I snorted.
I was in the middle of saying, I just had to hear, and then I hear you snort. I'm like,
You know what got me to snort? The second you were saying that, the second you started saying it, I was about to say, you said that. I was going to say, you said that just to see me react, didn't you? So I snorted because I was like, ha, I was right.
Also, I'm the king in disguise. Besides, we didn't choose to be in this form.
yeah, I'm sorry, Dimlos. I let it pass as long as you understand. You know what you're
I
talking
didn't
about?
realize that they used to be human.
I think it was implied earlier, yeah.
Yeah.
Stan, why don't you rest for a while? Choke him out until he falls asleep. We'll try to develop some kind of device to disable the mirror shield.
But how do you propose to develop something like that? Wait, can you help us? Oh, can't you help us? No, I can't. High energy physics is Ignatius.
Ictenos? Mochichi?
Integnos'
Morchichi?
field of expertise. Okay,
Mortichi? Morchichi?
I was calling him Mordechai.
Mordechai? No, you didn't have an R. I know for a fact you didn't have the R.
No, I said Mordechai.
Morchidai?
Morchidai,
Mortichi? You were like Morchichi? I was like... I feel like I know who you're talking about, but there's some letters missing. Like, there's a lot of things that are wrong with that right now.
I then, like, you went, what? And I looked at the book and then I tried to pronounce it from there. I have no idea how it's...
Morichi?
What's
Like, it's
worse
not that-
is after the first time I read the name, I went, oh, this is a reference to an artist, and then went, that name. So every time I read the name, my brain translated to that name. Because I was like, how was
Mother
I
of
pronouncing
God.
this? And then I realized in that moment, when I went to read the name again, in the sentence, I went, that name. Oh, shit.
Morchichi. Machichi.
I just gave up altogether.
She picks like because it's like the name is Mordecai. All right, it's not the most renowned name. Okay, if you're not into watching like weird AMVs about characters from 2 different series singing about airplanes, you probably won't know what Mordecai or haven't seen a lot of Mordecais. And then unless you played Borderlands 1, and 2 and 3.
Yeah, but I never got to the point where Mordecai was in it.
Mordecai's a playable character in the first one.
Oh.
He's the one with the bird.
I didn't play one.
He's also in the 2. He's the bird that dies.
I don't remember the bird.
Anyway, so I understand that, but whatever you said didn't sound like a name.
I was going, Morchai. At one point I said Morchai. And then I was like,
no less chai, please.
More to D, more to C.
More
Because when I saw the R, I started pronouncing the R. Even if it didn't sound like it, but I was like, Mortaki. I was like, the giant rat!
The rat.
The rat who looks like he's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because that's how they describe him.
Splinter.
Yeah, Splinter. I couldn't remember Splinter's name in the moment either.
That's okay, neither could Carl.
Then what should we do? Well, we need to revive Ignatius.
Igtenos.
Igtenos. I don't know why I want to say Ignatius.
Because you read the name halfway through.
No, I'm reading all the letters, but sometimes I mix up some of them.
Where's... Continue.
What do you mean? Where's the what?
Continue.
Where's the what?
Continue.
What am I not knowing?
Continue. Some of the letters in here are not in the word Ignatius.
Really?
And some of the letters in Ignatius are not here.
What letters?
Well, for one, how do you spell Ignatius?
I have no idea.
Move on. I'm begging you. More Chi-Chi.
I'm gonna try and be more patient with our child now.
Please.
Because he may have inherited it from me first, right?
Yes, you're right, but Clement, is this possible? With facilities like this, I believe we could do the repair work. He has to yell to be heard. He's like half a room away. I don't think we're getting past this room tonight.
This is on my head because my arm actually really hurts and up here it reduces the muscles.
At the end of the hour 1, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still the king of the sky. Oh, God. Really, I'm counting on you.
I took my meds on time too. My evening supper meds.
Words are relevant. What does that mean? What does that mean?
They make me really tired.
Oh boy! I can't wait to find a save point. Hey, look, at least we beat a boss. A boss?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we bullied a woman. I think that's all we did.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just enforced the patriarchy is all we did. Okay. I think we're doing Hugo's dirty work for him. Thank you, Spike. It's like he's really here in the room with me. I can't. One day I'm gonna pick up like a remade version of this, and I'm gonna listen to these voices like fully voice act. I'll be like, "This is wrong. This is incorrect.
I've done that.
I don't like this. This is wrong." These Japanese guys.
That's how I feel. Somebody mentioned it on TikTok where they were talking about things that people with ADHD do when they love reading. And they were talking about how, like, you have certain voices for all the characters and certain looks for the characters in your head.
Yeah.
For her, it's just the voices. For some of us, it's the voices. It's a movie. I'm movie. So then when you get the book to screen adaptation,
Or like even an
you're
audiobook,
upset. Pardon?
Even an audiobook would do it these days.
Oh, yeah. But you get upset when it doesn't match what's in your head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes! Yes!
That's like watching a show and then they change the actor like halfway through.
Yeah.
Like funny example, because if you've played Persona 5, you know that this example is interesting. But like, you'll play Persona 3, Persona 4, and you'll have like the guy who plays Igor. Right?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "Welcome to the Velvet Room." Then he'll boot up Persona 5. Joker's gonna wake up in jail in like prison stripes. He'll get up, go to the freaking bars, and then you'll have Igor, and you'll be like, "Hey, there's my boy." He'll be like, "Hello," and you'll be like,
Yeah, you can tell me.
"What the hell?"
When I never played, like, I started 3 at my grandparents' place, but then never got past the prologue because I didn't have very long to play. And then you were telling me this when I started 5, and I had no idea what he was talking about until he got to the end.
So funny, dude.
Because he got to the end. I still haven't reached the end yet, so I still have the other one. But then I watched the Persona 4 anime before Golden. I didn't know about the Golden one until after I finished it for the second time.
Like Persona 4 Golden?
Yeah.
The anime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about the Golden anime until after I finished it.
Dude,
But-
the voice for Igor at the beginning of 5, I'm just like, bro, who's this angry man in my velvet room attendant? And I was telling it to one of my friends. I was telling it to Jim's Grill.
Yeah.
And he was like, I know, right? It's like he's like an angry like car driver chain smoker all of a sudden. I'm like, my head, what the hell?
I like that they did that though, because like players who are long-term fans of the series will clue in.
Well, no, because we knew that the actor that played Igor prior passed away. So we knew there was going to be a change.
Okay.
And I think that one of the reasons they made it so drastic is in order for you to maybe realize retroactively, oh, it makes sense now, right? Because when you hear spoilers for Persona 5, a now almost 10-year-old game, I believe. 10 years old?
I think
It's less than. No, maybe 9 years old. Maybe 8. Because it came out.
Persona is PS. What's its acronym?
It's P5.
P5. Bad.
But yeah, so like, spoilers for that game.
2016.
So it's 10 years old now. Spoilers for Persona 5. When you get.
Well, in September it's gonna be 10.
Yeah, exactly. At that point, you realize that the Igor who you've been talking to the entire game is not the real Igor, and when the real Igor comes in, your boy's got the creamy voice again. It's not the same guy, but you can see that the guy is doing his best to do the same type of voice as like.
What I liked was that when we looked at the credits, isn't it the same guy who does both voices?
I don't think so.
I thought it was. I thought they had the same actor do both.
I think Yaldabouth is played by somebody else. I'm counting on you, Clement.
Matt, as soon as you started doing the King in Disguise voice, it threw me off, which is why I was like, whoa, wait.
Actually, I'm really an expert in the field of bioengineering.
Sorry, I'm still sick, but I'm at the end of
I
it.
wonder if a Sordian's a living entity. Well, I guess I'll have to do it somehow.
I love that they have size like goth version. That's kind of funny.
Philly, will you help me?
There's a lot of characters I don't care about.
Well, one of them was up top
Minor
there.
role.
But if you look up, it was literally 2 rows up. 3 rows up.
Oh, he's. That's kind of cool.
Oh, David Lodge and one other. Oh, because
that's the Japanese voice actor,
version.
Interesting that he's credited as Warden. I understand, but it's interesting that he's credited as Warden. We don't have. Oh, that's right, Xander Mobus. I forgot he's the one who played him. Oh my god.
Is that Matt played Fox?
Hey, you didn't know?
No.
Yeah.
David Lodge.
Is that the same guy as earlier?
I don't think so.
Because that's the one with the deep voice. Warden?
Down. Here.
Nah, it's still the same guy then.
Because like, a lot of voice actors are able to do more than one kind of voice.
You're right. I just don't think they sounded the same. These are also just the main characters. The problem is that they don't want to spoil things.
Yeah.
Right? See if we miss anything with Spike. That is a good question. I don't think they used their no. I don't think they used the old voice line because they re-recorded everything else. So let's check the reload credits. We should have Igor again here. So if it's David Lodge, then we know they probably kept him. Kirk Thornton.
And then you can go through his credits, see what else he played.
Paragon Ruizenban. If you play Baragon, I'm willing to believe he was able to play. But he's not the same guy. Plays the trash teacher in Persona. Yeah, he plays Igor.
Okay,
not
but
the
not
warden.
the warden. It's two different guys.
Yeah. So yeah. There you go. Good catch there.
Crap, am I warm?
So yeah. So they did change the voice actor like to a different guy, and then they kept the same. They kept the same guy that played real Igor in 5 in the Reload, which probably means we're gonna get Kirk Thornton playing Igor in Persona 4 Rewind as well.
Rewind?
They're remaking Persona 4 for modern consoles.
Okay. I kind of wish they'd do it for the original too.
A lot of people do actually. Yeah.
Like, I would like to be able to play the original set. Like, we have it, but unfortunately the console that I have, that we have it on, one of the
PSP.
buttons doesn't work.
Oh, the PSP doesn't turn on anymore. Pretty sure.
Yeah, we need to charge it.
I don't think that's a problem.
Well,
They're just old.
I charged it a while ago and it turned on.
They're just old. I also think, is that the one that broke? No, that's right.
No,
that's not the
that's
one that I
mine.
broke the LCD for. Yeah. Yeah. This
You
is just an old
transferred
console.
all your saves onto it.
But yes, that is a thing. Yeah, they're old. They're really hard to play. I wouldn't mind a complete revamp because like the encounter rate is actually ridiculous. The gameplay's okay. It's like Train Odyssey meets like Persona games. We need better. But you see, if the remakes for 3, 4, and I dare pray they're not remaking 5 already, end up doing good, they're probably going to go back because for the 30th anniversary of the series, they did make full new art for every character, including the first 3. So it's likely, but who knows what they're gonna do? And they keep saying they want to they want to create JRPG 2.0, and I don't know what that means, but pass.
JRPG.
They want to They want to change what people consider to be modern JRPGs.
Oh.
That doesn't. When a big wig from a big studio says something like that, take it with a grain of salt and be afraid. That's kind of all I have to say about it.
Please don't ruin it. The PlayStation, the Persona games are actually really good.
Yeah, the only thing that I'd like them to do is, and this is a feeling that's been echoed multiple times, is get rid of the guy that's in charge right now because he's super homophobic.
Yeah.
Philia, will you help me?
Yes.
Let's go back further in the facility. No, I don't want to.
Okay.
No.
I'll stay here. Stan shouldn't be left alone by himself.
Oh, okay.
I think he had
Chelsea,
more
you
of a
stay here
connection
too.
with Eileen because they were from the same continent and they were able to bond over that. Like, he'd never been to the big city, but she's like, I get you. I get what this place is all about.
Chelsea, you stay here too. I didn't say that.
Oh. Philly, why?
Because you're a child! I'm worried about Stan. I
I-
don't want anything to do with anything unwise. I don't want him to do anything unwise.
I thoroughly regret picking Chelsea.
Too bad.
I thought that we could pick. I thought, like, we were going to get more than one, but I don't know why when there's only 6 slots.
You have an important mission.
I understand. You can count on me.
Stan, don't move a muscle. Stay here and don't go anywhere.
Can I get that treasure chest? No?
They're gonna hit you with the Dragon Quest 4, I think, or 5, where like you start the game, you see a treasure chest you can't get until the end of the game.
Oh my god, yeah.
Is this the facility that Eileen was talking about? Can you get me near that machine? Throws
Yes.
him. Place Ictenos in the middle of this machine. Are you sure? Trust me, I'm the king in disguise. Philia, please go in front of the control board over there.
Yes.
We are all set here.
You know, Philia, you are allowed to say okay or all right. You don't have to just go yes, like you're listening, like you're being.
She's being a proper young lady that was raised in the church. She's sustained language.
There are other ways to say I agree to that or okay, I will do that instead of just being yes. Yes.
Oh, your metaphor
Yes.
Fantasio is actually fantastic, and I hope that they continue that series because I literally fell in love with it just from a gameplay perspective, and then eventually there's a whole level that's based off of one of my other favorite Atlas series, and I was like,
He was like, no, and then I made him look up the map online, and he was like,
no, you did make me look up the map, but I looked up the map from the other game online, but I started recognizing the map when it started getting filled up on the game because I was like, this is odd. The first thing that got me thinking was, why is this the first map in this game that is square shaped? All the rooms are square shaped. Every other thing was like curved and like bumpy and stuff, but this was like squares, right?
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
Yeah, he sat there like forever. No, not forever, but like for good.
I was
while.
solid like at least 5 to 10 minutes being like, this is so familiar to me. Why does it look so familiar? And before I got to the point where it was obvious, I looked up the map and I was like, bro,
Yeah, I made him
it
look
is
up the
literally like beat for beat the same map. And then I went to the bit where if I had just walked like 5 minutes down the line again, I would have seen like, well, they would have dropped the name of the map,
Yeah,
and I would have seen the FOEs.
yeah, yeah. No, it was really cool to see. Both of us were like, oh my god. But yeah, he was like, the map looks so familiar. Like, it can't be. It can't be. But like, we got these buildings here, and like, they were like, he was talking about the village and how it all sounded familiar, and like how their roles sounded familiar. And I was like, well, if you're so like, if you're so convinced of it, but you're still unsure, just look up the map. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it. And it took like me 3 tries to get you to look up the
It was
map.
like there's the village. All the shops were the exact same names as in the first Etrian Odyssey game. And then the first thing you do when you walk into the dungeon is like you have to get a tree out of the way. I'm like, that's kind of funny that you would do that actually. And then yeah, you start walking down. And I'm like, okay, this is like, you lose a bit of the vibes of like it's a reference when you get to the start of the dungeon. But when you get to the second part of the dungeon, it's like everything's like crystallized and whatnot. I'm like, okay, hang on a sec. And then you start seeing like, yeah, you get the like the FOE, so that you meet up something that's like, this thing will move only when you move. I'm like, really? Will it now? And then there was the square map and the elevators. The elevators, I'm like, well, actually, as soon as you walk into the area, they're like, welcome to Lost Shinjuku. I'm like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, and then we were unsure if the map was actually the map, and I was like, just look it up.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh my god, it is.
Like, I really, really, really want another metaphor game just so that we can get more of that. I think that releasing the Etrian Odyssey HD collection followed by Metaphor in like subsequent years, I think there was like one after the other. It was a really power play. They're trying to gauge interest in whether or not people still want to play Etrian Odyssey. The answer for me is a resounding yes, Atlas. I don't care if nobody gives you your money back. I will pay market price for a new Etrian Odyssey game, okay? I'm broke as hell, but I will pay market price day one release. If it's a deal breaker, I'll pre-order it. I know, technically we don't like pre-ordering,
Yeah, he stopped.
but I'm willing to bend my morals a little bit to get another Etrian Odyssey modern game. Not a remake. A full Etrian Odyssey game released for modern consoles. You've proven to us you can do it. We have 3 original DS games ported to the Nintendo Switch, to the PlayStation, to the Steam, and to the other consoles. They exist, you've done it, we know you can map things. Don't lie to me. Give me Etrian Odyssey 6. I want it now.
But just something else he did around that time as well.
I love Etrian Odyssey. God, it's so good.
I started one of the games on the DS, and like I was gonna start a different one, and he's like, no, don't start with that one. Start with this one. Out of the 2 that are sitting here.
I think Etrian Odyssey is really funny because we have a friend, Salty.
Yeah.
Right? We have a friend called that we
He's
call
never
Salty.
heard of them.
I'm not surprised. They're not like they're Atlas RPGs that were designed for the Game Boy, for the Nintendo DS, because the first mechanic was, it was a dungeon crawler RPG where you make your own like the first games 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3 were DS exclusive. 4 was 3DS exclusive, and still hasn't been ported to any other consoles. Again?
Well, you're kind of away.
That's because I keep rolling from. Actually, I don't want to roll on the blanket. So yeah, they're dungeon crawler RPGs that like take place, and your concept is you go into a labyrinth and you make your own party in the first games because there's no like story mode to them, and then the way that works is you go in and they give you a map and you get to fill it out. So you have like the top screen is what you see as a character, your and the monsters in combat, and the bottom screen will be your menu. No, actually, I think the top screen still has a menu in the other. Anyway, the bottom screen.
It has the menu up top, but
you still have your map at the bottom.
You have the map on the bottom, but if you go into it with where you don't need the map, it's on the bottom.
So the bottom screen is your map that you can then draw. It's in a grid-based thing that you can draw with your stylus on it. So the concept was explore, map, customize your map the way you want, and then move on, right? Each game has like 25 floors to the main story, and then an extra 5 usually for the post-game stuff. They are undeniably Atlas RPGs in the form of some of the hardest RPGs on the market right now. I've heard from a couple other people that have played. Like one of the guys I hung out for like one night with. Okay, he's a friend of a friend, and I went to a birthday party. He was there. He mentioned that he had tried Untold 1, and Untold 1, not the original one, the remake for the 3DS that I have. That is the easy mode, if you will. He tried Untold 1 and he struggled because he's like, this is ridiculous. Why is it so hard? I'm like, I didn't think that it was that hard, but you don't have any hand holding the way you would have in like another. In a lot of other RPGs, and I think that's what makes it like a little rougher, and that's what makes Atlas such beasts when it comes to designing role-playing games, particularly turn-based games. They do not hold your hand.
No, they don't, and I'm so grateful for it, because for me, it feels like I'm playing all the games that I grew up playing, which did not have hand holding.
Well, like, even if you like compare it to like old, I guess you could compare it in a way to old Final Fantasy. But what I find is the biggest difference with a lot of Atlas RPGs versus the classics that have become big hitters, like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, etc., is that those games will have you pick a class at the beginning, and then that class will then decide where your character goes. So, yeah, exactly. It's like, well, even then, it's like what's hard to figure out about moving around, pressing A to confirm stuff, and then drawing stuff with you. They tell you how to draw the stuff on the map, but they don't tell you like every icon that you can put on the map. You get to decide what it represents yourself, right? But sticking to my point, they're like the way that those old games will be like, oh, I'll make a character group in Final Fantasy, and then you're stuck with those party characters from the rest of the game. With Etrian Odyssey and with a lot of Shin Megami games, the way that it works is you're giving characters that are more or less blank slatey. Well, no, Etrian Odyssey specifically, you pick classes, yes. You can mix and match up to 8 early on, and then you unlock 2 more in the first game as it goes on, usually. And then those classes, they have set stat buffs, but every level up, you get 1 skill point, and you get to put it somewhere in their skill tree, and that decides passive stat buffs. Like, each class has a main stat that you can boost.
The skill tree would be down, but that's because we'd be in the village.
Well, in the originals, it was even uglier, because nowadays you have an actual skill tree with a flowchart, but in the originals, it was like, when you go into your skill menu, you'd have like, it's a list. It's like a drop-down menu. It's not a flowchart. So you have to like, oh, this, and then you read lower down and it'd say, well, the prerequisite is a skill that's like 5 scrolls up.
That's with Millennial Girl. That's what they have.
No, they have a flowchart in Millennial Girl.
Really?
Yes.
Because I remember it being dropped down and being like,
the only copy that I have that doesn't have the flowchart is my physical copy of Etrian Odyssey 3.
Got it.
They stopped using that after 4, because in 4 they also have, but like, yeah. So I'm like, so when I get told by Salty, because I'm circling back to that point, when I get told by my friend Salty, who, to my knowledge, across my friend group with me, Max, Will, Mechanics, and myself, Mechanics Evil Blade.
Oh, okay, yes.
Salty is the one among us that has probably played the least amount of JRPGs. And he comes to me and he says, play Earthbound, watch out, this boss is hard, this game is really hard. And I play it and I'm like, you can lose 3 times to a boss, and the game isn't hard, right? You can make me play Paper Mario with 1,000-Year Door and then tell me a boss is really hard, and he says, yeah, but it's because of RNG. Nah, dude. You are taking 55 or plus percent like difficulty away from an RPG game when your character stats are predetermined.
Yeah.
Because anytime that a mechanic interacts with a player, there's a chance of that player messing up the mechanic.
Yeah.
And if you're building a flow chart of skill points, you can build your character in a way that will be completely untenable
Oh yeah.
for 75% of the game.
Yeah, no, I've done that, and like honestly, like we have had this discussion before, where it's like he has not played as many as we have, and I'm like, I haven't even finished the games, and I've played more than him.
we had a recent conversation where he was telling our friend Max, the super bosses in Final Fantasy VI are really hard, and Max has done, Shin Megami Tensei is another example where you can mess up builds because you have two ways to mess up builds in Shin Megami Tensei. You get, I don't know how 5 works, but Digital Devil Saga and a lot of the earlier ones, you have like, in Digital Devil Saga, you have mantras, which is you pick kind of like this thing, you put points into it as you like fight, and that thing unlocks new skills, and then you got a maximum of like 8 skills on each character, right? If even that, I think it's more like 5. And then you have, in the regular Shin Megami games, skills are determined by what demons you have equipped, right? Kind of like a Persona. But in Shin Megami, you don't have the crutch that is your allies have pre-decided personas. So again, taking that predetermination of the stats, hey John, away from players makes it easier. You can mess up your main character's build, no problem.
Yeah.
And in Shin Megami, in my experience, when you level up, it gives you predetermined stat boost, and then it says, here's 1 or 2 more bonus stats, put them where you want.
Yeah. I've played a lot
Another
of
chance
games
for
like
a
that.
player to mess up a build, because you're gonna get focused on stuff, right?
Yeah, I've done that.
Salty hasn't played Shin Megami.
Yeah, I haven't played Shin Megami either, but I've had games that did that.
What did I forget, Johnny?
Did you put it in Discord?
Yeah, I put it in Discord.
Yeah, you did. So what did you forget?
I don't know, that's why I'm confused.
Am I looking forward again?
Okay, no, I'm fine. I haven't moved backwards.
Yes, you have.
Doesn't matter. Speed is a thing. You put all your points into speed, all your other...
Yeah.
So, like...
Like, speed tends to be the stat that I don't put enough into.
Okay, it was about the enough. No worries, John. How you doing, John?
Like, I have a
Discord,
tendency of not putting speed into my things. And then I regret it. And then I'll have other games where, like, I focus on speed. And I'm like, now I'm not doing enough damage. And, like, you have to balance it well.
Okay. No worries, John. Yeah, so, like, when Salty's out here telling us that the super bosses in Final Fantasy VI are rough, I'm like, they are in the frame of Final Fantasy VI. But Max has played Etrian Odyssey 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
In their HD remasters, as well as in Untold 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And he has fought every super boss in those games. Those guys are hard super bosses.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be real with you. You can tell me up and down the river. I have not fought any super bosses past a certain couple in the Etrian Odyssey series. I have never fought a super boss comfortably in Final Fantasy, because a lot of that is all about how you finagle your equipment, and I don't feel like
I
going to grind
avoid
stuff.
the super bosses in any game unless I accidentally step onto it.
But like, the super bosses in Etrian Odyssey have 2 reasons why I would consider them a lot harder. First of all, there's a level cap. The level cap is 30 levels down most other RPGs, so instead of being 100, it's 70. Which only 3 of the super bosses will let you upgrade the level cap. In some of the games, because apparently from what Max was telling me, in the original versions of the original trilogy, you don't get those level cap upgrades on Final Fantasy Dragons.
Oh, wow.
The second of all, they have insta-kill moves up the wazoo.
I hate
So many insta-kill moves.
I hate that so much.
So like, to the point where when I was fighting them in Etrian Odyssey Untold, I believe, or Untold 2, I was like, why do I keep dying? What's going on? What do I have to do? And I looked up the stat block for like just a strategy idea, right? Just an idea of telling me what the hell's going on. And the thing is, you have to count your turns for some of these bosses, because every set turn, they'll be like, okay, I'm doing this move. If you're not prepped for it, you're dead. In the case of, it's called the Blizzard King, or the I think it's the dragon. It's an ice dragon in Etrian Odyssey games that returns all the time, and its main mechanic is every now and then, every 5 turns, I'm doing a like defense cracking ice attack. And if you take it, you're dead. It does like 2,000 damage, and your party barely has that much HP. The only way to survive it in the original trilogy is to have a specific character with specific skill points into a specific ability. You need to have a maxed out ice wall ability on a protector, otherwise they're dead.
Yeah.
The only reason that works is because ice wall completely nullifies all ice damage for the turn. Yeah, and the Shin Megami games are an entire different story. Like I said, the customizability of your characters in Shin Megami is almost fully in your hands, so it's even rougher.
So some of these games I didn't even know existed until I met him, because they just weren't on my radar. But like, I did play some Final Fantasy games. I've played the original Borderlands 2. I have played some hard RPGs. And
I wouldn't put Borderlands in the order.
no, I wouldn't either. But I have played some, but they were older games because those were what I had access to. So I had the games where they just don't tell you nothing about how to play. You just have to press the buttons and hope you figure it out. And I hated it. At the same time, like, I played things like Tarzan Run. That fucking Safari Run, the Safari level, is brutal in that game.
But that's a different level of like.
It is a different level, but that's also one of those games where you can't save.
And I'd say like, not to take any of Salty's credentials away, because he's a gamer that probably plays better at most games than I do, and he understands meta to a point that I'm never going to even bother to want to learn. So like when you're playing a game with him and he's like actually into the thing, like you hear this guy talk about Pokemon, that's it, you're done. This guy knows it back and forth. But
He's also pretty good at first-person shooters, isn't
he likes a lot of them. I think he prefers Halo above most. Maybe Battlefield, I think, but.
I played a lot of point-and-click RPGs, Zelda, so
Zelda's not a point and
I
click.
had. Saying I played a lot of point-and-clicks, and then I said and Zelda, and then I was gonna say and Sonic, and Final Fantasy, and I've played a lot of that kind of stuff. But even then, like,
I'm making my way through Dragon Quest as much as I can.
yeah.
I played 1, 2, 3, 7. I'm playing 7. I beat 8. We have 9 somewhere in the house. And 11.
I want to play the 4, 5, 6 trilogy.
Yeah, I hear 5, 4, and 6 are kind of trash.
I want to do it just because I want to pick a
I
wife.
don't know where we get to put our where we get 4, 5, 6 besides like buying it at $200 online right now. And I don't particularly want to play them on the DS because every game I've bought for the DS in the last decade I haven't finished.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He bought me Tales of Innocence because that was my first Tales game and my only Tales game. Because I have played, like, prior to meeting him, I played Kingdom Hearts 3, 58 over...
358 by 2.
Yeah, and then I've also played Tales of Innocence. And so when I found it on Etsy, I was like, oh my god, it's the actual game. At least I hope it's the actual game. Like, I'm really excited because that's the version that I had, and it was the English one. And he didn't even know that the Tales of Innocence R was a remake.
No, I didn't know. Of course, R means it is.
Yeah. But you weren't, like, when I was talking to you about the opening, you were like, no, that's not the
What
opening.
about
And I
would
was like,
unfortunately no, Souls don't count as JRPGs. Mainly because what we consider as a gaming society or community, JRPGs are we call them. I like to call them character-based RPGs. It's the kind of RPGs where you start like. What makes them different than regular RPGs is the ironically, the preset paths for the most part, like class systems versus and characters that like level up in their own way to like make them more flavored, I guess.
I look at it as narrative-driven versus combat-driven.
No, I don't agree with that statement.
I feel like Souls is more combat than narrative.
Yeah, but would you call Baldur's Gate
Baldur's Gate, no, that's narrative.
combat driven?
Character-driven, but it's not.
Because that's not a. That's.
It's not the same kind of character-driven RPG.
No, right. I think character-driven refers when people started describing them that way. It was because first of all, a lot of Japanese game devs started resenting the label JRPG because whenever JRPG was used in like the early 2000s to late 90s, it was kind of derogatory referring to a game as a JRPG. It would make them lose respect among Western gaming audiences because, well, they're Japanese RPGs. They're not.
It's the same with
right?
people talking about anime, but nowadays it's like those
Yeah.
are like, yes, we want
Well,
that.
with that prejudice leaving eventually, people were like, wow, maybe. Well, I mean, even then, like people complaining about how Game of the Year was turn-based one time, like complaining about that kind of stuff. It's kind of just. Right? So, character-driven RPGs was a response to calling it something that doesn't piss off Japanese devs because, and even includes games that are RPGs of the same style without specifically labeling them as Japanese because there are games nowadays that are made by American audience studios or Western or even European stuff that aren't like Western RPGs. They're RPGs like Sea of Stars, for example, is made by a Canadian studio in Quebec, and that's technically takes the same character development as you would get from Chrono Trigger, but it's not made by Japanese devs. It still would technically be labeled as a JRPG by any logic, but it's very character-based, like level up system, right? And the reason they call it character-driven is because most of the progression of the storyline is very much about how these characters. It's centered around these characters instead of centered around the player.
Yeah.
So like where you play Baldur's Gate and you are the one making, like you're playing your own character, you're making the decisions as yourself, you choose where the narrative goes because it's focused on what you as a player do. There's a storyline in character-driven / JRPGs focused on who these characters are because they're already pre-written characters. They're not like blank slates as much as you would with certain... You'd still get like the Persona games where you get decisions, but there is an assumption that those characters have a pre-built personality into them.
Yeah. So there's the ones...
Yeah, Soul games I feel are like, again, they're like Japanese games designed with the mentality of like Western RPGs. Like you get to build your character from scratch and kind of like build them up from there and make decisions that like. I think that the Soulsborne games are very, very, very blank slatey, right?
Like honestly, I've never considered the Souls games as being like anything like RPG.
No, they are because you have the level system. You have class systems sometimes. You definitely get some decisions regarding the narrative, but like, it's an RPG in the same way that like Fallout and Skyrim and other games like that are RPGs.
I feel like those are more RPGs though than these ones because like these ones are very much like you barely have to interact with other characters. You're very much spending.
You're saying that because you haven't finished the game.
I know there's a lot of story in the game.
There's a lot of they set themselves apart because a lot of the like narrative that it comes from the pre-game time in the game. So like you'll start the game at a certain point in the timeline. Anything that comes before that, it's not spoken. It's told in like item definition stuff. You have to explore to find that kind of stuff or infer stuff from what you're seeing around you. But there are a lot of interacting with characters and choosing. Having decisions made via those things, to the point where like you'll have quest lines that will trigger. You won't even know what will do, what will happen from them. And yeah, the quests. So like you'll talk to a character.
I feel like they kind of like sit in between a combat and an RPG game.
You can have RPG refers to. They're called role-playing games, but it's complicated because people will consider like Zelda a role-playing game. So I think that like by the most basic decision, I would argue that a role-playing game is where your choices affect the narrative in a way, but then that almost immediately disqualifies any of the original like JRPG games.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's quite the thing. And then you kind of fall into this idea that then an RPG, and especially mechanically driven, when they're labeled as RPGs, you kind of have no choice but to either choose the very broad definition of making choices affects the game, or the other very broad, which is you have a leveling system.
I never considered the leveling system in RPGs.
But when you play a game, that's because you talk about point-and-click games like they're RPGs, but most people wouldn't. Because in a point-and-click game, you have almost a preset choice, and even like, but the way that it's more or less described when people are selling things, when it's marketed as such, when it's labeled things on Steam and such, as an RPG, you have the leveling systems. So that's like when they're talking about RPG mechanics, you're talking about leveling up, getting XP, powering up via like actions in the game, things like that. That's what I say. I don't know why it's labeled as an RPG game, other than the very, very, very basic thing that you can name yourself, and sometimes you can name the horse. That's the only thing that I could see as a possible foot in the door.
Yeah, no, I don't really consider Zelda an RPG game, but like I also don't consider Souls an RPG, so like.
But Souls has leveling systems. It has it's very RPG outside of the non-traditional RPG gameplay, because it's an action RPG, which is another thing that we have. And in that broad span of things, they have games like Devil May Cry as an action RPG.
Yeah, but I could see Devil May Cry being an RPG.
And yet you don't play a role in Devil May Cry. You are Dante, and you have a preset storyline with preset levels. There's no decisions to be made in those games.
No, but like you're like you feel more like you're a part of the world. Whereas with Souls, it feels like it's like for me, it feels like it's just very combat. Like there's not like I don't see anything outside of the leveling system in terms of what you do in the world.
But John, you can apply that to literally every video game in the world. That's the problem. I'm playing Mario. I'm playing as Mario. I'm playing Luigi. I'm playing as Luigi. I'm playing the role of the dang plumber that's going under the stupid turtles and knocking on the floor. It's all the same.
I feel like with Devil May Cry, there's more of an interaction with the world.
No. Wrong. Incorrect. How? I don't want to get mad, but how?
How do I explain it?
I'm waiting because I couldn't explain it for you.
Like it feels like you're actually, because like with the Souls games, it feels very hack and slash. Yeah, there's other things, but like in the world, you don't really.
You have hack and slash RPGs too, so I don't know why that would disqualify it. You, in fact, determine the fate of the world in every single one of the games. As well as you feel like you determine the macro and you determine the micro fate of the world too, because what I was trying to get to earlier, the quest lines usually end up with you having like these. They're a little convoluted slash subtle, but you'll find a character, you'll interact with them, they'll tell you something about what they want to do or where they're doing or why they're there, and then you can run into them sometimes out in the field, and whether or not you do certain actions such as walk into the wrong place at the wrong time, you could ultimately decide whether or not they survive the interaction or don't survive the interaction. One of the ones I'm more familiar with, let's say Dark Souls 3, there's like these storylines for each of the characters that represent the reverse storylines of characters in Dark Souls 1. Things like, you'll meet a character, they'll be like, I'm on this quest, we gotta kill this one guy. Every one of them is after one of the bosses, so you're like, okay, cool. And then you'll continue to advance, and in that storyline, what ends up happening in Dark Souls 3 is, I'm being very broad, but I'm going to get into the specifics so it makes more sense. You'll end up finding this like church slash cult that worship. I don't know if you remember the conversation we had about how humanity is in Dark Souls.
No, in terms of anything involving Dark Souls, it all left my brain because I could care less about the game.
There's this thought process in Dark Souls 3 led by these guys who believe that humanity's true form is the undead form instead of the form that you see when people kindle their humanity to make themselves.
Does that have to do with red thing?
Maybe.
Red stuff.
I don't know. Anyway. And so by doing that quest line, your character agrees to take a pact to become more hollow, which is a mechanic that was in 1 and 2, but is absent from 3, because in 3, you're always undead, but when you're the Ashen one, I think they call, you can kindle the flame and set yourself, become stronger by literally taking the fire on into yourself. Whereas by doing this mechanic, you get buffs for free. You get like free skill points and free level ups essentially, but you become more and more zombified.
That's also a difference in our gameplay, as I don't ever consider the mechanics or like try to like
No, but like
buy
even
it or
from just a
anything.
narrative standpoint, you're meeting these people that are giving you free power for the the explicit thing being that you're going to become more like what the rest of the world fears. And then in following that quest line, you find the person who set you on that quest line, who you think is yeah, I'm gonna get back to you on that with that, John. Is that you think at that point that like everybody else thinks it's a bad thing, and that person, it kind of more or less goes down the dark path. And when you end up doing that quest line, you find them kind of dead, but you essentially marry them in a weird way, and take on the thing that they were going to do, unlocking a new ending, which is every other ending is how do I kindle the flame, or how do I be really mean to the firekeeper. In this ending, you let the flame die out. The world essentially dies in this ending
Okay.
because you've chosen to let humanity maybe have hope in finding their original form back and finding a different source of light that will break the cycle. So like that multi-step quest line usually leads to like endings and stuff like that is a thing that is repeated across a thing. So you can't really ignore Dark Souls' RPG thing, yeah, don't light it, Age of Darkness, Age of Fire continues, brings you to the next. It's like these macro and micro choices that make it so that you interact with the world and your choice has something to do with it. The importance to the story, as John is saying. So John's saying like an RPG is probably the importance of the story and character of the game. And like that's the weird part is that us as gamers versus people labeling the games in markets, places and stuff, I understand them as different ways because most
Yeah.
people are going to be like, my interaction with the storyline being important might make it an RPG game, and the people selling you the game are going to say, well, it's got level up systems, that's probably an RPG.
Yeah. Like, for me, the Souls games are not an RPG.
You say that, and again, I keep saying
I
that.
know, but you're talking about the mechanics and everything, and I'm like, I'm like,
Then what makes an RPG an RPG?
For me, it's your interaction with the story, and like, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of interaction.
Because you've played the games for 5 minutes.
I tried Bloodborne for
Right, but if you don't get to a point where you get to the thing that you interact with the world with, you can't disqualify it from being an RPG.
If you can't make it to that fucking point on easy, then there's a
You
fucking
weren't on
problem.
easy, cause there's no easy mode.
Okay, well, either way, like, to me, that's not an RPG. Like, if I can't make it to that point...
No, you having a skill issue doesn't disqualify from being an RPG either. The genre doesn't change because you can't get to a point in the game.
Well, to
That's
me,
like saying there's no relationship stuff in Persona 3 because I couldn't read past paragraph 2. It's the same. I don't have the patience to read through story, so the confidants don't exist in Persona 5. That's the argument you're putting forth here.
I get, for me, it's the way that you interact with the story.
Okay, that is present in the Dark Souls and Bloodborne games. It's not present.
I said how you interact with the story.
How? Specify then.
Like, where, like, it's... Like, I consider this an RPG. I consider the Personas an RPG. I consider Final Fantasy an RPG. I will broadly...
All three of these interact in very different ways with the story, for the record. One of these choices has different endings. Kind of.
I will say the Nier games are an RPG. I would say Dragon Quest is an RPG. I would probably say maybe Borderlands, but not really.
The only thing that all these games have in common are level up mechanics.
So I don't even consider that.
So then your argument is flat and lacking in substance, my love.
I guess I just like when I hear Soul games, I go, yes, that hack and slash game that I could care less about.
It's not a hack and slash.
It really does. Like every time I look at it, every time I look at somebody playing it, it's hack and slash.
It
You can't tell me there's not a hack and slash component to the game. And that
there's
it's the
none,
majority
because
of the
hack
game.
and slash implies more fast-paced and less thinky combat. And that sounds a little... You're right, they can be multiple genres, which is why I was saying earlier that you can't... I don't know why they have to be mutually exclusive, but even then, I don't think one can consider Dark Souls a hack and slash game because of how slow-paced it is compared to any game that has that label.
hack
You
and
have
slash
hack and
games.
slash RPGs. The Warrior series are hack and slash RPGs. Devil May Cry is a hack and slash RPG.
Oh my god. That one feels more contained, more a part of the world.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Like,
Of all the things here that were mentioned tonight, that is the least RPG game. Bayonetta, because you have gear, technically counts as an RPG.
I think for me, it's not like you run around and you find where you need to go. You know, like.
No, I don't know, because that definition disqualifies Dragon Quest and like early Final Fantasy games.
I don't know how to describe it. To me, it doesn't feel like an RPG game. It feels like it's very combat focused, and like I could care less about it because it's so combat focused.
But that.
And like I don't want to sit there fighting all these mobs and going through everything. Like I hate it about other games
I
too.
think you've
but
just accidentally spilled the thing that makes you feel like it's not an RPG, and it's about the fact that you don't like it, so you don't want it to be an RPG. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, Ada. John, Ada. No, but yeah, it's probably because I don't like it because I feel like I have to, like, it doesn't feel like the fight, like, I disliked it about grinding in the other games too, but like I could still progress the story to a point even if I didn't grind. Whereas here it felt like it was, like when I played Bloodborne, that it was just combat after combat after combat after combat
Yes,
after
they're very-
combat after combat. And like I talked to one person, and I was like,
But yeah, you're.
what the fuck is going
It's
on?
not a very. It is very combat focused. That's not an incorrect statement. Most of the gameplay revolves around you understanding how your character fights.
And I think that's what it is for me, is if most of the gameplay is focused around your character fighting, it doesn't feel like an RPG to me.
But then again, why is Devil May Cry an RPG in your eyes?
Probably because it's like they weave the storytelling into the combat as he's fighting.
And in Dark Souls, the storytelling is ever present. Always. Everything you see is storytelling in Dark Souls. Or in any of the Souls games. That's one of the reasons people like them so much. If you ignore all the chuds that argue that people only like them because they're hard. The way that all the enemies are dressed, the way that the background is, the way that the land around you is desecrated or destroyed is all part of, like, everything you see on screen is telling you something that you can put together whether you want to or not. Well, that's what makes it such a critically acclaimed series, is the way that they tell their story without having the blah blah stuff, right? You don't need
I like
to
the blah blah stuff.
which is absolutely a subjective opinion, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it does not, again, disqualify it from being a role-playing game. But like, there's so much information you can gather just by looking at the way a character is designed, which is one of the things that makes some of these games really good. Is like, you're not just fighting a guy in armor, you're fighting a guy in armor who's got a chip off the helmet and a wrecked, like, ponytail and a sword that's seen combat because it's dented and scratched and nicked. And it's always like, you can tell a lot of stuff from the moveset, from the magic, from the, right?
So you said like there's a lot of the exploring too, right? Well, I love the exploring in, say, Tomb Raider. And I don't mind the action in Tomb Raider. But
I think the original Tomb Raiders, you can say they're not RPGs, but the new ones you might argue
the
are.
new ones are, I'd say, since the 20th anniversary.
Well, I'd say, yeah, since
Or
the
the 10th
reboot series.
anniversary.
I'd say since the reboot series, because of there is a skill level, you can get like a little bit of level up. There's the camping builds, there's skill trees and stuff in those games.
Well, yeah, the reboot series, but I'm talking about one that was from before.
I see. The thing
reboot
that's
series.
funny is that it could have been Artorias, but it could have been Gale, it could have been you could even say Champion Gundyr
So,
if
like,
it's not for the ponytail.
I like being able to explore the world. I just don't want to like have to put it all like. I like exploring and seeing little snippets of things, but like I want the story there and not have to be like guessing where the story might be, or looking at everything and being like, okay, I gotta try and like put all the story together based on what I'm looking
Yeah, but that's the difference between subjective and whether or not it's an RPG. Like, you're allowed those
Sure.
opinions. You're not. And no one's forcing you to play them.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Yet.
But yeah. But... those games forever. They would never end. I would never get past the first section. The only reason why I was able to advance past the first fucking street in Bloodborne is because I gave him the controller. I couldn't physically get past it. No matter how much I played, no matter how much I tried to change up my moveset, no matter how much I tried to like move around and go the different directions, I could not get past it.
And I think
And like for me, not being able to get past something, I'm like, what is the point? Like for me, playing those kind of games, it's there's no point for it.
well, a lot of people like challenges and overcoming them. That's
Except for me, it's not a challenge. It's a frustration. Because
no,
I just
it's a challenge
can't
because you
do
can't
it.
beat it, but it's still a challenge. You just can't overcome it.
Yeah, I can't overcome
You just
it.
don't like the challenge.
No, I don't like that.
And
type of
again, I
challenge.
don't think that doesn't disqualify by any means that game from being an RPG.
But I think that's why when like I hear those kinds of games, I'm like. those
It is
aren't
in fact more. It's like saying action versus. I think it fits into the same tier of categorization as action or story games, right? It's just that it can fit into each of them, so it might be like one half bitch down. Half bit, I meant to say.
Where's that swear jar? I heard that.
And like, yeah, there's the challenge of the learning and overcoming, and then like one thing that I think that a lot of people aren't willing to say online is that it's fine if you don't want to play the game.
Oh yeah, no. If you don't want to play the game, it's fine. If you want to play the game and you like the game, sure. If you didn't like
It's
it-
also fine to demand a pause button.
yeah. Yeah. Can we get away from this online thing, please? I would like games where I don't have to choose to be online.
Yeah.
I would like
Which is
couch
why
co-op
Sekiro
again.
is the most bestest
Oh my God.
Souls game.
I tried Sekiro and like I managed to get past like the first level and then that was it.
I don't know why you try Sekiro, man.
Because I was trying to get into the games that you enjoyed. And the games that you were playing were all games like that at the time.
Yeah, Sekiro came out. I got a fancy letter opener. It's great.
I know. So I was me being pregnant and then having a newborn was I am
Dude, imagine
bored.
having a newborn and play Sekiro.
I'm like, I
That's why
am
there's a pause
bored.
button.
He is sitting there right in front of me, and I'm like, I would like to. Oh, my foot started jumping, like I was pressed, like I was pushing this thing. But then I was like, I would like to try and get into the things that my husband's into in terms of gaming because my gaming style is extremely different, and I would like to try and relate.
I think different
And
isn't bad, but
see-
I feel like your gaming is very like not as a like as a diss here, but like you have a very narrow pool of games you've actually played compared to a lot of the people around you, I guess. Maybe not as much as like your brothers, because I think your brothers played even less. Maybe your youngest brother has.
I mean, I grew up playing World of Warcraft, Mario, Zelda, point and click games like King's Mask, and
Such a weird.
Dreamfall.
I know you really
and
like
then-
games like Subnautica and
Yeah.
Stardew and like all those sandbox games, but
Yeah, but those I developed later on. I didn't play those early on.
no, it's just like that. That's like the kind of games you gravitate to, which is fine. Adventure RPG versus turn-based. You know what? I like that adventure RPG. I just don't understand why the RPG.
I never played turn-based RPGs. That's the thing. I played adventure
You
RPGs.
said you played Final Fantasy.
Yeah, much later in life.
And what's kind of
It
funny
wasn't
is
until,
like if you're
Final
looking,
Fantasy 9.
like let's go to Steam for a hot sec here, because like if you're looking at like the games, like that you're describing like the point and click games, right?
Yeah.
I think they're considered adventure games, but they're not considered RPGs. Dude, there's nothing for every Yeah.
You know, one of the unwritten tales was sitting right there in the main page.
Yeah, but I wanted to get to this page. Yeah, it's adventure, but there's no RPG like
Yeah.
categorization to it, right?
Yeah, and I do realize point and clicks are not RPG. I thought they were RPG for a long time, and then somebody corrected me quite some time back.
I bet Potionomics counts. Nope, it's a dating sim. It does not count.
Because I'm playing a specific role in the world.
The specific role in the world. Dog, you want to see me beat? I beat Elden Ring on stream all the way to the end of the DLC, man. If you want to get me to play a Dark Souls game, hit me up with that subby. I'd say demanding for money. No, I'll play another Dark Souls game. I beat all of them actually. I beat Demon Souls last year. That's the last one I hadn't played, except for nope. Just haven't played Kingsfield. The role you're playing in the. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
But like I've also like, yeah, like I had a wide variety of
You
games.
know what
but
Breath of the
also
Wild
not-
is? Sorry.
Like I had like I also played a lot of first-person shooters, but I never want to consider those RPGs.
Well, Borderlands is.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But like Far Cry, Halo, Halo 2 specifically. I played a lot of DOA. I played a lot of
That's a fighting game.
yeah. So like I played a wide variety of games and found the ones like when I'm playing on my own, I find that I prefer a casual game. And I do like RPGs, and I have for a long time. You're changing the title. But like I never like I didn't even know that I liked games like Subnautica until I came across it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like I really like being able to explore and gather everything and try and like survive. But I didn't know that I liked that because I never played anything like that. So I think for me, having that background with the computer games before the consoles were created, like because I didn't have access to the consoles.
We had Minecraft.
Minecraft came much later for me. Like that was I was in grade 9. when we
Minecraft
got it.
never came for me.
Minecraft was like my brothers were into it, and I was in grade 9 when we all played. I don't know when it
maybe
was
grade-
created, but
Grade 9. I was like in grade 7 when I heard about it.
like the first video games I ever played were Jump Street and like yeah,
I don't know what that is.
it's a phonics game for kids.
Oh, okay.
It starts with preschool and it goes up to grade 6. And then like I also did the Cyber Wizards or something. It was a TV show that got made into a game. And a couple of others, but they were all educational.
Totally
games.
Yoko?
No. No. Years later, like I remember being on TV and being like, yep, switching. But it was also like very much I was older and I tried to get into it in college. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what all the hype was
Oh,
about this.
j'adore, j'aime les cheveux, monde ouvert. Oh.
And I started. Hey, no, that's not fair. You told me no lies.
That's not a lie.
You hate open world games.
I don't hate open world games. I hate sandbox games.
Really?
Yeah. I like Borderlands 4. I liked Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. Kind of liked Assassin's Creed 2. Played it more out of like necessity, but
But then like, I playing like So I think for me, like I needed to be, like I can explore a little bit, but it's limited what I can explore. Like it's contained in the area that I'm in.
so like Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah.
There are a lot of sandbox RPGs, yeah. Like Valheim,
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like,
Ark Survival.
like I know you love Bloodborne, I know you love Sekiro. I tried to play those games. I gave up very quickly.
You can get a katana in one of those games.
I know, which is why I really wanted to play it, but then I was like,
I said one of those games. You can get a katana in both those games.
games.
You know what you can't get?
I suck at the game.
You can't get a scythe in Sekiro. You can get a scythe if you beat Bloodborne.
I suck at the games, and I'm like, I'm not good at these, and like I didn't really get to see the RPG aspects to them.
You do.
Other
It's
than
leveling
the
up.
leveling. Yeah, I never considered the leveling up system to be RPG.
It's RPG.
Because I have shooters that have fucking RPG, like have level up system.
And they're RPGs.
Yeah, and I never realized that they were because I always saw them as first person shooters.
You can.
I didn't like at the time that I was playing these games. We didn't put multiple fucking genres to them, but now we do. They were first person shooters.
You can be both. One of them describes the gameplay style, and the other describes elements to expect. I think. So, like, you'd be a first-person shooter is exclusively games in first person where you have a gun, right?
Yeah.
You can even say Skyrim could technically count as a first-person shooter because you have magic and long-range weaponry, right? But that's scandalous. And if someone asks you something like, "Hey, man, can I get a good first-person shooter that you would suggest?" and you suggest to them something like Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, they are going to shank you in the neck.
I also, prior to meeting you, had never heard somebody talk so much about game mechanics. Ever.
Why are you so wrong, though?
Except I didn't interact with people who talked about game mechanics. We talked about the stories.
That'd be me. Yeah, dude. That's like someone's like, "Hey, man, I want to get a good RPG," and you suggest Zelda
Like,
or Devil May Cry Void.
Boyd didn't talk to me about the game mechanics. He knew that I focused on the stories and the art and the sound.
It's technically correct, and you get to win because you're technically right. But no, but like, the thing that I like to talk about mechanics for is because when you get to the deep analysis of video games, you recognize that the video games themselves, right? It's an art form. It's a medium. It's like clay or paint.
I agree
And
that they're an
so,
art form.
in getting to what makes the medium special, you have to interact. It's like
Except I don't go that far because I go,
Skyrim.
it's an art style. I love the art style. I don't have to understand how the art style works.
no, but like part of, but it's not the same. It's like color theory. You look at a painting and you can kind of analyze stuff, not necessarily accurate, but you can analyze stuff by seeing the how it was made, right? So like you look at a painting, you'll be like, wow, you can see that the brushstrokes are a little wide, a little small, etc., etc. That goes into deep analysis, right? I took art in college, Ada. And in taking art in college, I have now interacted with art in very different ways than before college. It's that simple. Right? So
Whereas for me, I'm still very much focused on the creative aspect.
yeah, well, the creative aspect when it comes to video games has a lot to do with if someone knows what they're doing with the medium, the mechanics are going to be complementary to what the story you're trying to tell. It's not going to be just there because you want to make the game right? It's like it's the difference between making a horror walking simulator because you want to get a game that makes the spooky versus a game like Nier where the mechanics are directly tied to your character's progression and their storyline and inevitably the erasure of that character from the world, right? That's the difference in someone that really uses every single piece of the medium itself. It's the difference between drawing a picture out of a pencil only and getting to you didn't finish it, bet you're regretting that now.
No, because I remember the character being erased in Nier Replicant. I wasn't expecting it in Nier Automata. You telling me I have to also witness my main character there dying?
No, I was talking about Nier as in Nier Replicant.
Okay. That I saw, the first ending they made it very clear when your character goes by and lets the original souls go back into the body.
Oh no. Oh no. No. You haven't gotten the
But I also saw your ending with
Yeah.
Kaine and the giant fucking flower.
But that's the replicant version 1.2 to 4.
Yeah, and I also saw ending 3. Do I remember what it was?
ending,
No.
I think it's ending 4. That's the one on ending D. Yeah. Ending D is you just erase your game, but that's like
Yeah.
directly tied to the fact that it's a video game. You can't do that on any other medium. You can't make the thing movie and have somebody watch it and then be like, well, now you're gonna forget about it. It doesn't work that way. Right?
Yeah.
But you can do that in the game medium, much like Undertale. Undertale is another heavy hitter in this kind of thing where they're using
But
most
they
of the.
didn't do that there either, where you make you forget about
No, but you can, however, maybe you don't forget about it because it's an experience that you get to keep, but your system sure as hell does because you can't, well, like, you can't play the same file anymore. It's gone. You can't.
That's right. I remember you telling me about that.
You can't make a character with the same name anymore.
Got it.
And Undertale is also very good at this because it at the time where it was PC only, it would do things like Doki Doki does, where it'll mess with the meta stuff.
Fucking Doki Doki.
And Doki Doki is another very
Straight
good
to my
example.
fucking chat.
It's another fantastic example of how the medium itself can be pushed beyond what we kind of see as just a screen in between the interaction. And
Yeah, I think what's the worst part with Doki Doki when I played it was that I didn't clue in that it was her until she was like, "Oh, can't you see? I saw that you bought the game on Steam, and specifically what game I bought and when I bought it." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, and what sets Undertale Doki Doki apart is that both of them will do something where you need to go and mess with your save files, yeah, right? So like, there's a section in Undertale where you can't reload to an earlier file anymore because a character in the game has decided that he's now in control of your save files. There's a section in
Yeah, you told me about
there's a section in Doki Doki where you have to go and delete a character, right?
that. Yeah, not that it works.
No, it does.
No.
I think it corrupts everything.
Yeah, it corrupts everything. You have to get her to reset everything and embrace herself.
So like, all that stuff is why gaming as an art medium is set apart from other art mediums. Like, it's not just a visual, it's not purely visual, it's interactive, which is why mechanics are part, like, in the best of cases, mechanics are part of what makes a game better than others.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I also enjoy them a lot. They had a lot when Ada's here because it just so happens that a lot of time when I'm solo, I'm streaming by myself. Like, there's not always somebody in chat, so I'm kind of just like reading off what's going on screen. But disambiguations of what we're talking about is stuff that we do often.
Yeah. And like, honestly, like, I've never thought about the mechanics like that. To me, the mechanics were, okay, this is what's allowing me to interact with the story, and like, that was the max of it.
Yeah.
I never really felt like I never really talked about the mechanics the way he does, because for him the mechanics of the game are super important, whereas I'm like,
Well, they're part of...
my focus is the story. If the story isn't good, it doesn't matter how good the rest of it is.
Yeah, well, the way, like, properly designed mechanics would let you see into the way that the creator wants you to interact with the medium, right? So
Yeah.
it's like the difference between, I guess to continue with the art metaphor, it's the difference between just hanging up a painting on a wall and having a painting hung from the ceiling in the middle of a room that's empty
Yeah.
with other stuff, like, or has a chair underneath it. And if I hang a painting above a chair, you're gonna get a certain sense or a certain vibe from it, right?
Yeah, well, honestly, like those arts where they're like, I'm just gonna like do a single dot, or I'm gonna like just place a chair in the middle of a room. Like, I get the message that they're doing, but I feel like it's lazy art. Honestly.
Yeah, the Miyazaki for Dark Souls, Kojima, I think Yoko Taro. I think we all know how much I love Yoko Taro's works.
I feel like
I'm gonna be mean, but I think Yoko Taro does a lot more with the medium than the Dark Souls guys do. The Dark Souls guys do phenomenal work. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as meta.
But yeah, I feel like like the things that I mentioned, like with just the chair or just the dot, or like they suspend a single thing in the air. Like, to me, that's lazy art.
Well, no, but like what I'm saying is, like, it's not just something suspended. It's like, what if, because it was an example because it's like, what if I drew something? It doesn't really matter what, maybe it's really well drawn, and then I did something instead of hanging up on a wall in a traditional way. You do something else with it that communicates more of an intention or an idea than just the basic. Like, hanging up the picture on the wall in this allegory would be the Call of Duty. of the year, right? You know what it is, you've seen it, you expect it to be the way that it is.
Yeah.
Whereas
I remember when it was still still very
putting the picture or the painting or even cutting the canvas up in a different way that isn't traditional would be some of these games like Baldur's Gate 3, where they break out of their confines of what you expect from that kind of game. Even, I think that Baldur's Gate 3 is a weak example because while it was really good and had very little to scoff at, I think while it was fantastic and pushed beyond the thoughts or the borders of what we thought a game should be in terms of size, expanse, and availability of action or interactivity, I think it's still just another RPG game. It's really good. It's the closest thing you can get to Dungeons and Dragons in a video game, technically speaking, if you ignore Solasta and the Pathfinder video games. But
I also like that even though like you have like a guaranteed like a path that you have to follow, a guaranteed story, like every single thing that you say leads down a different path, and there's multiple different paths for every single one of those things,
which is really cool.
And they voice acted all of it. They didn't just go, oh, we're just gonna voice act the main things and then the other things you can read.
I'll get back to you on that, Spike, actually, because that's an interesting point. This is a thing that made me appreciate the series a little bit more when it comes to the Dark Souls games. But yeah, and then the difference then becomes, you got Baldur's Gate 3, which is, it's pretty much the peak and go without pushing what each individual aspect of what a game is. Like, as much as good as it was, it remains just the best you can do without pushing past the screen.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get games like...
Which it's gonna be serious.
Of course it is. I know. Then you get things like Omori, I think, pushes the boundaries a little bit more.
Yeah.
In Stars in Time,
Really
pushes the boundaries a little bit more. And you can push further down that line where you get... Of course, I'm going to simp for them again, but the Nier games, where they play with what it is that makes it a game and how it's different.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff, where you're pushing past the confines of the traditional confines of the media and making it go further closer to the player as an interaction or an experience than it is just, I'm in control of this world and it only goes forward when I want it to, right? Kojima is good at that too, because Kojima likes to get a little screwy with stuff like, oh, you can't fight this guy if your controller is in the first port, and things like that, right? Or reading your memory card, but those feel like, I don't want to be mean, but to me that always felt like, oh, it's neat, but it's kind of like a little cheap trick, right? You do it once, you're like, okay, I'm over it. But it was still boundary pushing at the time, because what do you mean I gotta find the answer of a thing in the game by looking at the back of the CD case? Things like that, stellar, but it doesn't push the boundaries too much, right? And then Spike is saying, like, in terms of like mechanics, well, I guess I'm gonna link it into mechanics, but he's saying how Dark Souls helps people with their mental health. I also found a Dark Souls. Yeah, I watched that video, Spike. It interested me because there was a guy who made a video called Dark Souls Saved My Life, and the entire thing was like how his interaction with the game itself was completely not skewed, but changed because of the fact that he was going through a really hard time, like mentally, in his life that time, like to the point of, like, I believe he mentions having suicidal ideation. But playing through the Dark Souls games, or the original Dark Souls game, and the themes that it presented to the players made him kind of look at his life in a way of like, I shouldn't give up, because if I can beat Dark Souls, I can beat whatever's beaten me in life. And this idea that, like, in the game, the only thing that makes your character technically lose their quest isn't the traditional lost state that you get in other video games where you die and it's technically over and you rewind, right? Like, with a lot of video games, when you die, you kind of just go back in time to your last save file or right before the mission starts to try it again. But with this guy, with Dark Souls, your character will die at least once, probably.
Sorry, I'm not on mod here, so I can't.
It's okay. Your character will die, and in that death, the only thing that stops them from that would stop them from coming back is whether or not they give up. And in that point of view, them giving up never happens if you still pick up the controller, right? So they will never give up, and they will never in world become one of the zombies that are hollowed and have, like, lost themselves, as long as you continue. So even if you've died 500,000 times throughout the game. As long as you as a player manage to try again, your character still has that spark of life that makes them want to continue the narrative, want to make it to the next goal, right? And that aspect for this guy's video, he was explaining that, like, it kind of like bled into his mentality of like, I didn't cure him of this. He's like, I didn't cure. We all struggle with depression if you have depression at least once. So it didn't cure him, but it definitely helped him fight it back enough to be more functional in his day-to-day. Because if I can beat Dark Souls, I can make it past this tough thing in my life. And that is a way. Like, yeah, keep getting it back. It's the same funny little hopeful mentality that they mentioned Spider-Man has from like the Spider-Verse movie. Like, yeah, just even if I lose, I'm gonna get back up. I always get back up, and that's the entire thought process behind how your Hollow character or your chosen undead is. That's one of the interpretations as to how the chosen undead from the original Dark Souls is different from every other undead in the game.
I guess it's kind of like similar to how I would do Sims, because like in Sims, like you go through all these different struggles with your characters, trying to make money, trying to do these other things. If you're doing Let's Play, and then like your character's gonna die, but it's gonna pass on to another. You're gonna move on to another character. Life keeps going forward, and then of course there's most of us girlies who like to just kill everybody.
Yeah, but the biggest difference in this allegory is that, like, in Dark Souls, you are the same character, and you're never gonna stop until you as a player, which is like, it's an idea to try and break down the boundary between the character and yourself in that scenario. Yeah, don't you dare go Hall. None of us want to see you. That was one of the favorite characters is Andre, I believe. He's the blacksmith. And one of the things he tells you when you walk away is be careful out there. None of us want to see you go hollow. And a lot of people have taken that to heart as like, I don't want to stop trying in life, right? And that's like, it's cute. It's very powerful when you put it into perspective of like, nothing sets your character apart. No, any other hollow or undead could have done with the things that your character could have done. But you're the one who did it because you're the only one who didn't give up. And it's reinforced by the fact that like every other NPC you meet, their quest lines all end in them going hollow. Because when you finish their quest lines, for the most part, they have nothing to go on for in this post-apocalypse world.
They're gonna make me play this game.
No, the next time I was gonna make you play was I knew it earlier. I don't remember now. Too bad.
Because yeah, you get to pick up the game.
I know. Yeah, they have no purpose, therefore they go hollow. They literally lose themselves.
Great. So I'm now going for how I feel.
I mean, even then, your character's like purpose, and your purpose in the game is to finish the game, right? And when you finish the game, well, you get to choose whether or not. It's never implied that your character at the end of the game goes hollow. It's implied that.
Oh no! I'm meaning them, the other characters.
Yeah.
The
Well,
NPCs.
they go hollow. Which is kind of funny because if you follow the allegory of depression, they're the ones who would be masking it, I guess, in that scenario. Like your character is probably the one who wears their depression on themselves a lot closer versus the other guys who are all masking, yes, but like desperately grasping for a purpose in the form of like, you get like from the top of my head I can remember Solaire, which is one of the character favorites because his entire thing was you meet him and he's like, wow, look at that, there's an artificial sun, I can't wait to find a real sun one day, I want to find my own sun. And he's like the most cheerful character you'll find in the entire game. He's like, hey, here he gives you the co-op item, so it's an item that once you talk to this guy, he gives it to you, you can now play online with other characters.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we should engage in jolly cooperation. You're also able to summon him for some stuff and some boss fights. And as you find him, he doesn't go up, he goes down towards the depths. And the more you find him, the more he seems to be a little more iffy about what's going on around him. He's like, I can't find my son, I'm struggling. S-U-N, of course. Hey, send me the link, John. And when eventually his questline has two ends, his first end is the one that you're likely going to get if you don't know what you're doing with the game. So your first playthrough. You'll walk into a tunnel at some point, and he will be there, and he will have this new helmet instead of like his bucket helmet that he usually has. He's got like a 5-star thing, and then he attacks you. He doesn't say anything, he just attacks you. So you end up killing him. And unlike other undead, he does not come back because he's gone hollow. And he drops the helmet, and you see that it is something called a sunlight maggot. And when he dies, he says, "Oh no, I found my son. I finally found my son." And it's because when you wear it, it lights up.
Okay.
And you realize that he found this thing, and it's like the only non-artificial light he's found. So he picks it up, he puts it on, and it takes over him.
Got it.
And the second possible ending for Solaire is if you manage to find a specific covenant, put enough points into it, and open up a secret passage, you can kill the sunlight maggot before Solaire gets to that hallway, saving him, and he can help you in the final boss fight.
Okay.
But that doesn't happen to a lot of people. So it's kind of like this guy that was like very cheerful, very helpful, very bringing you up across the time, and eventually he just kind of like gives up to the point where he puts on this parasite on his brain, knowing what it is.
Yeah.
So that's like the
Well,
allegory.
if there was a parasite that could tell me exactly what I enjoy versus what I don't enjoy and what I would like as a career, that would be wonderful.
I don't think knowing what you like is the problem. I think it's every other obstacle in the way. Anyway, can we get Ectenos fixed? Siegmeyer, yeah, Siegmeyer's also.
Yeah. I'm waiting for you to say that.
I already did.
You never said it.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you were talking about
No,
RPGs.
I said we're all set here.
Well, that's literally what you just said.
I said it right when it appeared, and then we kept going. In the middle of like a sentence.
Oh, okay. I did not hear you say it.
Clearly. Link is the creator? Oh. Here. Well, can I get the link? Can I get the Pokemon Lazarus? That's it? Where have I seen this? Ooh. It's so old looking. Cute. It's a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald. Let's go. Let's go. I don't know that I'm in love with the Game Boy Color style, but I'll live. Creator Sealash. Look at that. Thank you, John. That's perfect. I have to go to the bathroom fast, so let's get Ictanos fixed. Get a save point. This is a big, good talk. We know Ada is biased. She likes RPGs, but she doesn't want games that she doesn't like to be RPGs.
I don't like combat heavy RPGs. How about that?
How do you feel about dragons?
Okay.
You wouldn't call that combat heavy? You had to grind. 60% of the game is...
I had to grind at like 2 points and that was it, and I got so annoyed so quickly.
2 points. How many times did I have to grind? How many times did I have to grind again?
You fight everything in your path. I just want the story.
How many times did I have to grind again?
I had him grind for me at one point because I was so fed up with going back and forth with the boat, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I am technically at the minimum level to be able to beat this, and I can't. So he got me up to level, and then with the boss, I was at level, and then I went and grind for a year and a half in order to fucking be able to beat the stupid thing. Even though I had the strategy. I had the right people in my party to fight this. I had the strategy. Was I able to beat it? No. So I had to bring myself and put myself, what? I was at level... You're supposed to be level 56. I was higher than that. At the end.
Shall we start? Philia, activate the lever in the front!
Yes.
Oh my god. She's a yes girl.
That's what I was saying.
No, she said it like 4 times.
I
It's
know.
like the only thing she said. This should have done the trick.
This is why I was so
I
frustrated
know,
with her
but it's just
saying
like,
it.
yes. What? Where am I? That guy.
I was gonna say it wrong again. Ictanos. Regain consciousness.
How are you feeling? Ah, Clemence, old man, thank you for saving me. I'm glad you're back with us. Gar, I'm sorry. I allowed your father, King Sark, to be killed because I was weak.
Hey, wait a minute. Spike said you have good voice acting. What about mine?
Also, I'm the king in disguise! He didn't say he didn't have good voice acting. He said he liked D&D because of the voice acting. That was inevitable. There was nothing you could have done. I was an EP. Yes, it's incredible that a facility like this exists. Wouldn't you have known about it then? It means that the Ethereans were close to developing Swordians of their own. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, fine, I'm all good.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I need you to do something! Yes, what do you want me to do? We're going to infiltrate Dycroft soon, but the Mirror Shield is preventing us from going there. The Mirror Shield? Yes, that would be a problem. Can you create some kind of device that will enable us to disable or neutralize the shield?
I think there's going to be a whole bunch of story before we're going to be able to save.
No, I need to take a piss.
Just go.
I need to urinati.
Just go. Put us on Be Right Back. Don't you have a button?
Yeah, it's right there.
Is it not on? Okay.
Oh, my boxers are showing. Oh my god. Fine, I'll take. Oh, I didn't.
Well, the mic's not muted.
Okay, we're back. I'm back. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the little boxer bit. How you guys? All right, let's make like Poseidon and get cracking.
Did you say this one?
Yes.
Alright, my short term is like shock.
It's something out of my league, so I'm unable to do it. Certainly, I'll do my best. You know what's the best part about this? We can put, please little no, anything we can do to help. Yes, that would be great. Since I have no hands, and you seem to still have them.
Rudy's leaving. Okay, now.
What do you want?
Nothing. Those two are working and I don't have anything to do.
What? Leave me alone.
Come on, get a grip.
Tell him.
We really need you if we're going up against Hugo.
Get him. Drag him.
We're depending on you.
Multiple ellipses.
What, you don't believe me? Have I ever lied to you?
Well... yes, you have. Some things are better left unsaid.
You're not helping at all. Well, forget about what I just said. Will you just cheer up?
What do you think about our world?
What? Are you still thinking about what Eileen said? Well, I don't like it. But I don't hate it either.
What do you mean by that?
There are some bad people in the world, but there are some good people too. Ah. I mean, for crying out loud, you're trying to save the world, aren't you? I forgot that you sat in my chair and adjusted my headpiece.
Hmm? I'm just real quick making it so the link from ExtraLife actually is the right link.
Makes sense. I mean, for crying out loud, you're trying to save the world, aren't you? So, I don't think our world is something you simply throw away. Excuse me.
That's not what I mean.
Huh?
I'm not fighting to save the world or anything like that.
Then why are you fighting along with all of us?
I can't explain it well, but I'm fighting to protect the people who are important to me. See, I'm a country boy, so stuff like the world doesn't really concern me.
You know what? That's something that they come across in Ketiko Hitman Reborn as well. Is in the future arc, one of the tutors is being like, "You have to save the world. You have to save the future," and then
I'm very glad that I can help you guys with moods go up. All right.
And then his teacher, who's been teaching him for a while, comes up and he goes, don't think about the world, don't think about that, just think about the people who are important to you. And then that's when he's able to deal with everything that he needs to deal with. Because he was feeling the weight of dealing with, I have to try and fix everything now. I've been brought to the future to fix everything.
Yeah.
And the only way that he could really focus on it is by protecting the people who came with him that were civilians.
Man, I burst the ASMR channel. What do I have to do for ASMR? I'll just eat a pickle. I don't even like pickles, so it's gonna be like.
You have to be like right up and close and personal with the mic.
They have special mics for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's wrong.
I don't think so. I think I'm on the same boat as you are.
I feel a bit better since you told me that.
Now, that's more like you. Stan Aileron.
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 Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun to be around you.
Did you know that when Stan rolls, it's a barrel roll? Because nobody knows what an aileron roll is. Stan, the mirror shield optimization device is ready.
I'll deal with that tomorrow.
We just did this. Does this mean we can disable the mirror shield with this? Right, we can finally go to Belcrant with the Sky Cruiser. Yes, let's go.
Again?
Oh, of course. It can't be. There's no way. No way! I don't believe this! One more later. There's not a moment to lose.
Okay, I am still. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I was still sub. So a payment went through to continue the sub. I didn't realize that, and I was going like, I now have my Prime back because I paid for Prime. And so now I can do Prime subs for you. But that means I'm not gonna lose any. At this rate, there will be nothing left to save.
No, that won't happen. I'm not going to give up. He's right. We must go to Beltran to the Sky Cruiser as soon as possible. Yes, let's hurry. Alright, so I guess Gar giving the Tenos.
Yes, that was gonna be something I was gonna do. Keep forgetting that I have to pick infos.
Oh, it's trash. It'll level up, I guess. At least he gets magic. What's his magic look like?
Let's take a look.
Oh my god, he really does need to level it up.
You're killing me, game.
Let's go status.
It's so bad.
How did you look at the Swordians
Go to status, you just go down one.
Oh my god.
It's a trash. Ictanos, please. Why is you so bad? It's only game. Why you have to be bad?
Oh, dude, we can leave with the wing boots. That's cool. But we can also just go back to the previous room and save.
Yeah, that's what
Oh, yes. Fire. Oh, wow, we get to do something.
I mean, we could have done something for a while now, but we sat there just talking. Which I don't mind. I like it when we do these talks.
Yeah, apparently it's the chat enjoys participating as well.
Yeah. There's been more than one person who said that they like it when we go into these rants, so
Well, it's something I like doing myself a little bit more than I like just sitting here and playing a game. Because like, I don't mind playing a game, I like progressing and stuff, but... Leah, please get lucky. The name of the hockey player. But yeah. I think that, I think it's definitely something I prefer. I feel a little more intelligent when I do. I'm gonna be honest like that, okay? I feel less stupid than I do sometimes, because a lot of the times in my life I'm like, God, I don't feel very smart. But I got other times where I'm like, holy cow.
you probably feel a lot smarter around me.
Well, that would be weird to say.
There's a lot that I don't know about or that
Well, I
I
don't think
thought I
that.
knew about.
I don't think intelligence and knowing stuff are deeply connected. I think that intelligence comes off more when you can express critical thinking and analysis skills. So the capacity to like understand or see deeper than the surface level.
So you mean something that I can't communicate properly?
Communicating it is not the problem. Being able to understand things is the important part. So it's not about knowing how the programming of the game works. It's about understanding the possibility that just because someone says they're good, they're not good. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. I just don't think intelligence is about knowing stuff. You can memorize a bunch of stuff and still not be super intelligent if you memorize statistics and then refuse to put them in context. If you memorize like dialogue and refuse to understand what that dialogue means or what could be the context around that dialogue.
I once put like this thing on the back of two exams because remember how like I told you about how like I had those two exams.
Yeah, you told me, and then they were like, "Are you good?"
Yeah, they thought I was suicidal, and then my counselor looked at them and she went, "I don't see that. This actually just looks like somebody who is very smart trying to put their thoughts down and actually challenging things." I'm like, huh, cool, because that's not what I felt like I was doing. I felt like I was just ranting.
Well, sure, if we're talking about stats, but what I'm thinking is like when you're talking to somebody, I don't feel like someone is less intelligent for not knowing stuff. I think that you come off as intelligent when you can adapt to new information and or analyze past just the surface level of stuff. I think that's what makes a person an intelligent person. But now, if we're statting things out, wisdom and intelligence are always kind of weirdly intertwined in ways. But that would be how I would describe them as a game stat. If I'm referring to how people are IRL, I think that, like, it's a little different, I guess is how I would say. Anyway, that's our save. I'm glad we had this 2-hour chat. And I know they're technically based in real life, but that's not what I'm saying. Anyway. And I don't think that you're wrong necessarily. I just don't want to tell people they're dumb because they don't know stuff. You know what I mean? You're not stupid or unintelligent just because you're uneducated.
The worst part is that I'm educated.
I'm not talking about you. Yeah, that's where I want to draw the distinction, I guess. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you folks had a good night. I'm going to be back tomorrow morning with some Honka. Today was supposed to be some Honkai. I was supposed to do Final Fantasy this morning.
You forgot again.
My timeline is all busted, that's all.
It's fine. Mine's not much better either. I miss Mary being the same level as the other two.
She's still above Gar, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. But she's under Philia now.
Yep. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
No stones unturned, every letter